Hello.
What?
Talk to me.
I don't know if Phil's doing Seinfeld
Could
right
be
now,
Spanish. Well, I
but
gotta
it's
see,
like
got
some
new money.
weird. But it's like he's not even
Could
doing
be
the voice
Spanish.
right.
Hola. La la
Oh,
la.
I got my headphones.
Testing.
The YouTube's live, Phil.
I know, it's performing for them. This is part
This
of the
is
show.
Phil's performance.
It's all part of
art.
the show. Now they can't wait for our live music performance. Can't wait.
Are you sure we met that goal?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep. Go look. Look at it.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Well, I believe you, but I'm also like, why did you put that in there?
Pretty sure I got your approval.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
I was like, yeah.
You also put because the ones that I really was nervous was like the rapping.
I don't think we had it on this one. I think I just did that on the first one.
No, we had a rapping on the stretch goals, like a live
but
rap.
Not on this one. This is on
Yeah,
the
on
first
this one. What do you mean the first one?
Like the first Kickstarter.
No, because we came up with that. That was recently. We were talking about that.
Are you sure?
I am sure. You put that in the... Dude, why are you getting on your phone? I have a computer right here.
Look.
Oh, I'm Phil. I'm on my phone all the time. And you don't even look up things correctly on your phone because you're using like ancient technology.
It's true.
You're
slow,
weird, very strange.
Let's see what we did.
Hold on.
Talk about it on the show, but we're in the final stages of voting. If you have not voted yet for the finals of
Look
the
at
stuff
that.
we're going to do.
Both of them just come right up there.
All right, so look at the stretch goals for
Nobody
this.
has any excuse.
It's there.
Well, I know. Okay.
You got to go back up to...
Oh. Keeping it updated. Good job.
Yeah.
Phil. We got comments. Oh, suggestions from...
Yeah, that was... He did it like while the thing was still going, so I hadn't done like ballots yet, so... Yeah. Okay, so keep going down. You get stretch goals. There you go.
Okay, we did MP3 download. It was second.
Full printing. Yeah.
Hour sleeves. Phil and Brendo live song 1500.
Yeah.
Ah.
Record it and release the video on YouTube for all backers to enjoy.
Oh, see, the rap covers album was $4,000.
I think we had that on the first one too, though.
No, we added it because we started doing all that, and
Well, what do we have something weird on the first one too?
I don't know. You come up with a lot of weird.
Look at the first one.
You come up with a lot of weird crap, dude. Like just because you think it's funny, and then we end up having to do it.
It's great then.
No,
dude, the whole Kickstarter is a 7-inch. It was just, I mean, is a great like silly thing.
What comments did we get on here? Oh, that was his campaign.
That's as far as he went.
You're dumb, freaking. It'd be a shame.
All right, so let's see.
MP3 download, movie, BMOS.
Yeah.
We never did the instant movie night.
Well, remember we did like...
Oh, we did an extra commentary
because it just wasn't working.
We'll make stickers for BMOS
and
Comics Advocates.
Yeah.
Record a brand new BMOS EP.
We didn't hit that.
We did that.
No, we only got 13. We got 1,300 even.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the new one we are doing the EP.
Oh, well, then what was the EP that we did?
We just did one song.
Yeah, but you released multiple versions of it on a CD.
That was for a regular one. It was the BrendoMan All-Star CDR like special thing for like I think $50. Yeah, see, CDR BMOS songs of like the old ones plus new tracks and hidden things and whatever. Okay, but keep going down.
1,300 exactly?
Yeah.
That's
I think
crazy.
someone like pitched in like just the right amount at the last minute to even it out.
Right.
So thank goodness for OCD folks out there like me.
Back was only Team Fortress night. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. See, there was
a custom rap song. This was a rap album.
Yeah. Okay.
DVD-R, entire recorded archives. I don't even think that'll fit on one DVD now. 12-hour couch cast, 24-hour couch cast. And then like our super high one was like, we'll visit you. Second T-shirt, customize any way you want. Come up with a character. You describe it and name it. We'll let you appear as a guest for a segment. This is your ticket to internet fame. You're such a dork.
It's great. It's awesome. Someone could have done it. If we had, if someone had the money to do it, someone would have done it.
Hello, Kickstarter peoples.
Oh, we did it like separately.
Welcome
Oh yeah, I'm in like space ceiling.
Welcome to this wonderful Kickstarter.
My beard is very full in that.
You got like super beard.
Look at that.
I'm Brendan Creasy,
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
and
It's like your least.
Look at that.
BrendoMan.
I was like asleep doing that. I'm Phil Vecchio.
Or go on Stitcher.
All my stuff.
For most of you, probably
I
already
miss
know
those
that, so
kitchen
we'll just
cabinets
continue.
with the
What's
space
going on?
up
That's a cool
there.
display there.
Well, we wanted to put together a little project here. We've got an amazing community of
Space
Man, we've
beard.
come such a long way.
Yeah,
Now we're in the
we're
same
in the
room.
same room.
In the same room, you guys.
My beard is not as full, but it's only because I've been trimming it.
Are you using your owl beard trimmer?
Of course. Wait,
No, he's not. You're gonna scare him off again.
I think I saw him here. While you're getting it set up, I'm just gonna.
Is he out there?
I think he went behind me. He likes going behind these things.
Well, then we should get them all.
No. I don't know where he went. Probably ran through somewhere.
I swear, if I wake up and that thing is on my face, you're gonna freak out. I'm gonna call you and yell at you.
So for those that don't know on the YouTube,
We're gonna talk about it on the show.
well, yeah, but just a preview.
There's a lizard in my apartment.
And Brendan has been running around screaming at it.
It's just freaky.
We chased it around the house for a while, but it's too fast. We can't catch it.
It's really fast.
That one time when it came out of the bathroom and right for it, you're like, ah! And like jumped and ran out of the way.
I thought it was like a giant spider or
Yeah,
something.
I mean, it's probably what, like 6 inches, maybe 5 inches, something like that. You know, little guy.
I feel like it's gotten bigger since yesterday.
It's not that big. Maybe they grow fast. I don't know. To be fair, at first I was trying to catch it in a pizza box. Now I've just manned up and I'm trying to grab it with my hand. I thought I could like pin it in there though, but can't get it to run into it.
Kids are good at catching lizards.
No,
They
Andy
have
can
better
catch them
reaction
like
time.
too slow.
Because you're not playing your Nintendo anymore with that hand-eye coordination. Is hand-eye coordination? Is that even a
I'm
thing?
pretty sure that the video
Nintendo
game
Power made that up.
Nintendo's like, we got to do something, guys.
Improves hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
It was like it because I could see it probably came out of like because like in Mad Men, the first episode of Mad Men, they're trying to find a way to get cigarettes like Lucky Strike. They
Right,
can't because
right.
they've gotten to the point where it's illegal for them to say all their like health benefits like
Right.
Q zone. That stuff's off the table. So that's when Don Draper's sitting there. He's like, well, it's toasted. And then someone's like, they're all toasted. He's like, they don't know that. He's like, everybody else, all the other companies, like, we're selling death. This will kill you, but Lucky Strike, it's toasted. And it means nothing.
Yeah.
And I could see
That's
where they're
hand-eye
sitting,
coordination.
where like Howard Phillips is on Madison Avenue with some ad men. They're
Yeah.
like, we need something. How can we're getting reamed here in
Video games are
Congress.
killing children. What do we
What else
do?
Improves hand-eye
Hand-eye
coordination.
That's it.
What that? No, they prove it. Prove it doesn't.
Because what? Yeah.
Prove it
yeah,
doesn't.
nope. Because what else? I mean, what? So you can drive better, I guess.
Your reaction times.
I guess.
But if that's true, then not for me. Because I should
I'm
have
one
the
of the-
best hand-eye
Yeah, I'm one of
coordination in the
clumsiest
world.
People I know, I'm always bumping into.
Although
stuff.
you can like shoot that Astro Blaster's gun
Yeah,
real
but that's
fast.
still a video game. I mean, it's.
Well, imagine if it was a real gun.
I guess,
You could-
but if it kicked back, I would just fall over. Like, I don't think I could handle that.
You couldn't be like, it's not like toys where it would turn you into like a
I
sniper.
don't think so. It's more like toy soldiers.
You'd get in there like Last Starfighter and you'd be like, ah!
I can't do it.
They're all happy and you get up there and then you just crash like immediately.
That's exactly what it would
It's
be.
like, "Bruh." Like you're just like, all right, yeah.
Especially back
It just
then.
shows them all looking. They like salute you and then it just like explosion.
Well, Last Starfighter in particular, because the technology for video games, even if you watch the game he's playing, he's like hitting buttons on a cabinet. That doesn't translate to flying a spaceship.
That's why like it's a lot of people give Planet Terror like a hard time, in it's from Grindhouse.
Uh-huh.
It was the Robert Rodriguez one. It still has it has the greatest scene in like film history in my mind, where one of the characters, so it's like a mom and her kid,
Okay.
and they're like trying to escape the zombies, and the mom, and it's like a 5-year-old kid, and she gives him a handgun, and she like leaves him in the car with a handgun, and like 2 seconds later he just shoots himself, because that's what would happen. Because you know, in movies the like kids
Right,
with
the
guns,
kids
but in this, like, it's like I think that would, like, I love that. I love, because like she gives him a gun and he shoots himself, and he's like, that's what would happen if you gave a 5-year-old a gun.
Don't do it.
Like that's where, like, because I love that, like, even in this dumb zombie movie he had that little joke.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like this might be a zombie movie, but I'm not stupid enough to think like we're not gonna have a kid with a gun, because this is what would happen when you give a kid a gun.
Oh, that makes me think in a very roundabout way. I have to add it. I want to talk about it on the actual show very briefly, but I have a funny story about Luke this week.
Huh?
I'll remember.
Oh yeah, I was looking at what I was reading because I forgot. Man, I'm going all over the place.
Man. Still working on that restless noise, huh?
I read like 4 pages today.
All right.
I'll get there. I have 7 more renewals.
No hurry.
I need. It's good, but it's like classical music. I can only take it in like little chunks
And it
before
puts you to sleep.
like just like ugh. All right, go set a watch, man. Haven't finished it yet. And then what is the other one? I guess I got it from the story bundle. Oh yeah, Designers and Dragons, the 70s.
Oh gosh, we should get started. It's almost 10 o'clock. I've been here for 2 hours almost.
Why? I don't know why we always do this.
I don't know. Okay, while you're typing that,
Mm-hmm.
I want to do those audio productions for Brax. It would be super easy.
I know we've talked about this.
Can you add an audio file? Like, how would it be
You just
easy
put
to
a
put it?
link to an MP3 and then you just push it.
Like, so you got like the link right underneath the strip then? Because it would be a different one for each strip.
Yeah.
So that'd be easy enough to do.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we should do it because it'll be super easy. I think it'll be super funny. I'm gonna do a test one this week. Do a test one tonight.
No.
After we're done.
Time. We
After
don't
we're
have
done.
time.
Or if we go like
No.
if we do a short episode.
No, stop it. It's like an hour until my bedtime.
Type
Like, I'm
fast.
going over. I already know we're going over, but it's fine. Survive. I stayed up till like 1 before and I was fine. I'd rather not do that.
What time do you have to get up in the morning?
I get up at 6:45.
All right. Almost as early as I have to get up. On days we drop off Janelle, I do like 6:15. On days that we don't drop off Janelle, it's about 6:45. Tomorrow is a drop off Janelle day.
Why is it drop off Janelle Day?
Well, Tuesdays we just always do. Although I guess we might not, because we like Tuesday we have saved to like if we're gonna go out to Orange County for Disneyland or something. You know, we do. Or if we're gonna do something right afterwards, I drop her off so we have like quick access to go somewhere. But I don't know. Maybe we don't have something planned for tomorrow. Maybe I don't have to. Plus, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. That's
Then
good.
maybe you want to go to Disneyland.
That's true. See, that might happen.
But then all the other APs are going to think the exact same thing, and it's going to be crowded.
It doesn't. Yeah. Janelle said like Sunday morning it was empty.
Well, because isn't that still a premium only day?
No, they had deluxe was good still.
Oh yeah, but
But
still,
it was
the
Sunday
weather was funky.
Well, and then once like after church time,
Yeah,
she said it got nuts. Like 1 o'clock, people started pouring in. So
yeah, that's typical. That sounds about right for Sunday mornings. Just from
yeah, because go after church
or after waking up
or sleeping in.
or football,
Yeah,
whatever.
football in the mornings. Is that a thing?
Football usually the first games are at like 10, 11.
Wow.
Because I mean, East Coast,
Oh,
it's
real
like
time.
1 in the afternoon. Yeah, they play football in real time.
Really?
Yeah, as opposed to like what?
Well, what, they would like broadcast it later or something?
Why would they like? That's the whole point of like watching sports is
Well,
like
SNL,
live.
like they,
Yeah,
tape
but
it
on the
live.
East Coast, they watch. It's alive. It's alive on
But,
the East Coast.
but I would think maybe we get it later over here.
No, because then people wouldn't know what. Then it would get spoiled. Like, and it's like a live sporting event.
How do you spoil a sporting event?
Like they could like be like, oh yeah, they won.
Oh, okay.
You know when Jerry, it's on Seinfeld when he
I guess
watches
so.
the Mets game. He's like, "Don't tell me." Don't tell me."
Okay.
People,
Okay.
that's the only. I am convinced that the only reason why live TV hasn't died is sports
Well, I'm sure.
and news, but nobody even cares
Because-
about the news anymore.
Because
It's sports.
when I talk to people
That's it.
and I'm like, why would you need cable?
Sports. They'll
Why
all
do you
say
need regular
sports.
TV? Yeah, that's it.
It's the
'Cause I
only
don't need
thing. But
I got
that's
nothing.
not changing. But like, I just think that that's the only reason why network television, anything. Is,
Yeah, but if there was a sports network like the WWE network and you could do live,
you can for some things, but it's like really expensive.
but I'm saying if they like launched that,
They do, but it's really expensive.
but made it affordable, like
They won't because people pay the really expensive price.
They
So why
could.
should they make it cheaper?
Yeah. Sports people can have that problem. I don't want it.
I agree.
I don't.
But like
need
all the people watching football now, like in order to watch like on broadcast television, there's only like 2 games on. So if you want to watch all the games, you have to have Sunday ticket. That's like $250
Jeez.
for like the
Watch
season.
football.
Yeah, and everybody you
Ooh.
know that watches football has that. Jeff Edwards, all those people paying for that season ticket.
Ugh.
And then people have There's a baseball one. They're like every sport has one of those now.
Separate
Yeah.
curling. They have a curling
Yeah, I'm
ticket?
sure.
I'd get a
Curling ticket.
Like on what do they call it on Wheels Ontario? What's there? It's not curling though. It's like
I don't know. That was
Roll.
curling.
is it? No, it's like rolling or something. Because remember they like push the guys in the wheelchair and then they sweep in front of them.
Yeah, but that was curling.
But they called it something else.
No. That was like the whole thing. That's why it was a joke about curling is that there's like you can even do it if you're in a wheelchair. And
Legs.
the fact that like one of the Olympic gold medalists, there was a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
I remember that was like the big joke was
Yeah.
like if a pregnant woman could win a gold medal at it, like that's not a sport.
Either that or that's exactly my kind of sport. Fats rejoice. How do you get into that? Is it like after school curling league?
I don't know. I know people that do it. Like it's a pretty big deal even up in the Midwest and stuff.
Yeah, okay. I doubt Southern California's got a big.
I'm sure there are people that do it that get an
Probably.
ice rink. I'm sure
Probably.
if you looked online, there's probably a curling league.
I don't know. Maybe we could go to the Olympics, man. What if I'm really good at sweeping?
You gotta like. I feel like I would slip. How do you not slip on the ice?
I don't know. That's the tough part.
I feel like I would just be slipping all over the place. I mean, you play broom ball, but I slip all over the place
Yeah.
when you play broom ball.
Do they wear like pads?
I
for
don't
safety
know.
Stuff?
You're gonna get me looking at YouTube videos
look
of
at-
curling
don't look at
and like
curling.
we need to start the
Start.
show.
Let's test the mic.
Hold on.
Start the show.
I said hold on.
Okay. Also, LA, Delhi.
George Moore. Are you on the last season yet?
No.
Ah,
Have like 2 more episodes. So good though.
season 2.
Season 2, yeah. No, the only thing since the
So
last
what's going
time-
on with Dr. Armand? Where you are?
Let's see.
Is he still on the trial?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
Dr. Armand.
What's the song she does?
Oh my
So
god!
great. Yeah, my honey bun or something. Oh my gosh, that girl is hilarious.
I've seen her in like other stuff.
Well, her first appearance in the show was in the San Diego diet.
Yeah,
She was one of the San Diego diet people.
I've seen her on like other things. I don't
I
remember.
love
what.
the San Diego diet because it never says anything about what the San Diego diet is.
Oh, you know what Kevin and Bean announced? Do you
What?
remember Wing? That
Wing?
Japanese lady that like sang all those songs. Like I think she was on Tim and Eric, and she's on a bunch of stuff. She's like a YouTube sensation,
Huh.
but she's like retiring.
No.
She just sings this ridiculous like song. You gotta look up
Look up
Wing
Wing.
music. It's
All
like
right.
this lady. I can't believe you don't know who Wing is.
No.
Oh, I thought everybody that knew anything about funny thing, like weird, like not just funny, but like really weird.
I should look at Wing.
I feel
but
like
not
you
now.
No, I think you showed me someone similar to Wing.
Maybe
Another
I
one of
do.
those girls, lady
I've watched
singers.
a lot of stupid videos.
And
on
I'm
the
sure
internet over
if
the
you
years.
have, you have seen Wing.
I mean, a lot.
Like, and so you've seen. She's kind of like a lady version of William Hung.
Okay. You remember Y2 Kai?
Oh heck yeah.
Is he still around?
No, because I remember some Henry posted on Radio BrendoMan that the Gangnam Style guy. He's
Yeah.
like, that's Y2 Kai should sue that dude.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, because like that's Y2
That's what he
Kai.
was doing.
Pull up to the local Arby's, big Montana in my mouth. Pull up like a chest. I just remember that we embraced that like a chester. Like we
Yeah.
said that all.
Yeah.
Like we were singing that like all the time.
Why didn't he go huge?
Because it was 2000. It was like 2002, and like
I guess
nobody like
Why
that was
too
like
high?
that was pre-Strong Bad. Like that
Yeah.
was like
Yeah, it was. That was
There was-
pre-YouTube for that matter.
that was way before YouTube. That's probably like
You know
because
how
like
crazy YouTube was what
2004.
2004.
yeah, 2005.
Before that, we had no YouTube.
There was
Where
just
did we
stuff all
even
over
find
the
all that
place.
stuff?
E-Bombs World
I guess so.
and all those other random sites.
People just email
College Humor.
Yeah,
Those have been around.
it's just crazy that YouTube is that
and
young.
Flash sites, Newgrounds, and like that
'Cause
kind
it's
of
a
stuff.
juggernaut. I have a hard time believing that YouTube will ever go away totally.
Well, no, I don't see how that. But we said the same thing about MySpace and about
It's true.
everything. Think about all the things we were like, how are we gonna live without this?
Yeah, what if in 5 years, like Vimeo is the only thing people watch videos on, and YouTube is like we make fun of it like MySpace?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Could happen.
It's weird. Oh, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Andrew's here. Steven's here.
We're still just rambling in pre-show here, so welcome. We should don't forget to test our mic. We got to practice what we preach.
Yeah, but I don't use my iPhone earbuds.
I can't believe that's what he's
Andrew,
doing
I
all
found
along.
out that Derek was using iPhone earbuds and his iPhone earbuds microphone to record the podcast.
And that's why it sounded that
And
way.
that's why, and eventually it just got so bad. Like I think he crushed his headphone. So that's what he was recording on all along. Because I was like, "What do you use?" And he had his earbuds, and he's like, "These." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Like even Janelle like looked at him like, "What?"
And he's like carrying him around.
Yeah,
with him,
and
too.
that's why they eventually got so smashed up. It's like, I guess I need a new pair of these. I'm like, those are like $30. Just buy a seriously USB Rock Band microphone. It's like $3 at
You get it for
GameStop,
nothing.
and it sounds fine. Sounds fine. And
Yep.
he's like, well, then I still need headphones. I'm like, get it, what, dude? Like, get the cheapy.
Yeah.
Like, I use like these crappy things. Like, just any headphones.
$5. Go to Ross.
Yeah.
That's where you get cheap headphones.
Yeah.
Remember the crazy stuff? What do we need? Oh, for using the DS to like record.
Yeah.
They had the
We
cable.
found the
needed
cable at Ross. I love it. I got
on,
it
like,
at Ross.
Thanksgiving. Or was
Yeah.
it Thanksgiving?
It was like around, yeah.
Because everything was closed. No,
Yeah.
4th of July.
Oh, I don't know. It was
I don't know,
holiday.
something,
It was some holiday time. I think it was Thanksgiving weekend. Remember, because I was here for Thanksgiving weekend because we
Yeah.
went up. It was right before we went to Laughlin. I was there the
Yeah.
weekend before
Yeah.
because I was living in an apartment. I was living in a hotel, so I'm like, I couldn't just come up. And
And we needed a cable.
yeah,
New Kaipa.
yeah. And I got the shorts. And that was when we noticed that they had to get a letter just because they sold food, and that's where we decided we would
Yep,
never
that's
sell
the
food
Everything but food
at our
store.
store. It all ties together.
That's it. That's what happened, everyone.
Nobody knows what we're talking about right now.
They know about everything but food store. So no longer just talking about that.
How we would go out of business like before we even started.
No, how great it would be. I want to have.
It's
everything
all
but food
stuff
store.
people can like. It basically should be called things you could buy online for cheaper. Let's just call
No,
it
but
that.
we'll have it really cheap. We'll price it like we did.
And then we won't make enough money to pay our rent.
No, it'll be good.
I don't
I love it.
so.
It's gonna be great.
No,
Plus, we'll do like live shows there.
because that's legal.
What?
I'm sure. Don't you have to get like
What?
special permits?
To have a show?
Yes.
Ah.
At a venue. The venues that you have them at have permits to do that stuff.
Eh.
And when it's your venue, you have to get the permits.
As long as it's like
Like the church has permits to like do that stuff, and like they have permits.
Yeah, but that's part of, like, you're allowed to have people in your business. If you already have the business.
I don't think you understand how things work.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the last day to pre-register for SDCC 2016.
Wait, pre-register for... I thought they haven't even done that yet. Are you talking about professionals?
If you're not a pro.
But people haven't had the pre-registration yet. You mean like register for IDs?
This is pre-pre.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I think it's to get the IDs so that
Oh.
when it comes up, then you can register.
Oh, you have to get the ID.
You don't know about this stuff.
I don't even know what that is. I'm like, what are you even talking about right now? Because they haven't had that thing where it sells out in 1 minute.
Right.
This is to pre-register for that.
So that you're ready for that. He's telling us for the listener.
I haven't even gotten any. I usually get those emails, and I haven't gotten anything.
You sure? Because I did.
I'm not even paying. Well, I got a thing that said it's for professional registration.
Yeah, and it said that you don't need to resubmit. Or we're not due for whatever verification.
You mean it's the last day to pre-register for professional registration if you're not a professional? Oh, wait. Comic-Con validation.
Number badge validation. There you go. See, again, you don't have to do all this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Before September 15th. I feel like I should be seeing that all over the internet, and I'm not. Maybe everybody's like trying to be quiet about
everyone's
it.
like playing it cool. It's like
Everyone's
spoons.
playing it cool.
It's a giant game of spoons.
Yeah,
on the
nobody's
internet.
saying anything, so everybody will get shut out again.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't do this by tomorrow, you're not going to
You're out.
Comic-Con. How crazy is that? It's September of 20.
Yeah, it just happened a couple months ago.
Like, Comic-Con has only been over since July,
Yeah.
and there is a deadline where if you don't put in your stuff, you're not getting a badge. And so there's always those people that are like, oh, how do I get to Comic-Con? Like,
Too
dude,
late.
I better tweet that. I feel like I need to tweet this just to be cool. Because I feel bad, because I know there's lots of people that right now are like, oh yeah,
Oh,
Comic-Con pre-registration, that probably starts in a few months,
that'd be
right?
fun to go.
Which it does, but you have to have this, which ends tomorrow. That's crazy. They're getting nuts. And I love the fact that the whole... See, I'm being a jerk right now
You're
by
messing it
putting
up
this
for
out
everybody.
there. How are you not part of the LA Podfest? You have 185 episodes averaging 3 hours apiece. Oh, well, Denver, I'll tell you right now, we're not famous.
Yeah. Although we are going. We're going.
I don't think people realize what it takes to have like a real podcast.
We have a real
Like a
podcast,
real successful
but
podcast.
we're not
And
Mark
those
Maron.
people, but even just like all those other podcasts, they have hundreds of thousands of listeners.
Yeah.
We have maybe a few hundred.
I think we definitely have a few hundred. There's no way we have less than that. But that's not LA Podcast.
All right, I'm going to put this tweet in here because, yeah, we should address that. That's also Denver. Denver asking the tough questions.
Good.
But I got to tweet this because
But we
now
are
I'm
part
like,
of it.
dude.
We're going.
Oh yeah, we're totally good because we don't even have to validate our professional registration. We are already we're
have
not
that.
guaranteed yet, but we will we're guaranteed
as much
I
as
think
you
we're
can be.
guaranteed our badges.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to do the race for guest badges.
We are as long as you register within a reasonable
You have to
amount of
register
time.
within a reasonable amount of time, which is getting a shorter and shorter
Yeah.
time window these days.
Like 10 minutes is not cutting it. Like you have to be on it. And even still,
you
they're
probably
doing, like, the
they're doing the
random
round robin for guest badges.
for guest badges, right?
But if you don't need a guest badge, you're basically guaranteed.
Right.
Which
Assuming you do it like the day of.
I'm just I don't know. I think we're pretty locked in for our panel.
I hope so.
Seems like it. Well, no, I guess WonderCon will be another good
Yeah, that'll be
indicator.
good to have us back to that. No one counted numbers during this one.
No.
But I saw in other panels we went to, I saw them counting.
I think by Sunday they did not.
So maybe...
Well, I mean,
No, but
you saw on Sunday there was like the sound was all bad in a lot of
Yeah.
the rooms we were in. Like nobody was paying
it was
attention.
much smaller attendance and stuff. Well, understandably so.
Like
That's how it
two of the
goes.
panels we were in, like the sound was just awful.
Well, the one, I can't think of his name, but the one that Derek's friend did, I did see someone come in and count for that one.
Yeah, but that was a bigger room.
That was a big room. I guess because we have the small room.
They had the double room.
Maybe
maybe
Martha's
this-
just like, nah, you don't even have to count.
They could even be that because like we're cool, we're good, we're all good, you guys. Like,
But we had enough. I mean, we had enough people
I
that
didn't
it
even check my
felt
Twitter.
good.
What is all this? Oh, it's all the. Man,
It definitely wasn't like the largest we've
Ooh,
ever done, but
2
for a Sunday
wrestlers.
morning,
wrestlers are favoriting my tweets, you guys.
nice.
Yeah, Simon Gotch and Ryan Nemeth.
You gotcha.
Gotcha. Man, I haven't been looking at my Twitter replies for a while. I should probably
Look
look
at
at
that.
those. People favoriting my tweets. People looking at stuff.
We still haven't checked our mic yet. You realize?
Just one thing at a time, man.
I'm just saying. You keep saying you want to start. Yeah, you're doing that. So, we met some good people at Long Beach. Played some fun games.
I just know there are people that are probably like, oh yeah, pre-registration for Comic-Con's not till February or
Yeah.
whatever, and like they're not going to even
They're
be
gonna
able,
miss
they're
it.
going to be out, and nobody's saying anything.
We'll do it. Andrew and you are the last bastions of kindness amongst friends. Which one is that? That's the Dot guy. That Dot Arcade one, the one they had the big competition for,
Mm-hmm.
it's $5 for that game.
That seems like
Feels a little
not.
stiff for me. I'm not gonna. Do it.
It's like 3 games in one,
It is,
but it's
but
3
they're
games that are
very-
dots.
and they're very. I mean, I've got Snake in about 100 different other places I can play right now.
Yeah, but not all of those things with the sweet cabinet art.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not cool, but I was thinking like $1 or $2. Like,
Well, when it goes on sale,
When it goes
I'm
on
sure
sale.
when it will.
I think I even had it like on my wish list because I always like check and see what's on sale for my wish list.
I feel like I should Facebook this too.
because I'm not feeling $5 for that. Plus, I played it so much that day. I feel like I've kind of played it as much as I probably would play it because there was something at stake.
Why do people put this dumb crap on here about like, oh, if you're really my friend? And I'm like, you didn't write this. You just
It's
copy
just a
and
cut
pasted
paste
this.
thing anyway, right?
See, and then this is
Copy
like
and
a
paste.
bad
It's-
chainmail.
Chainmail.
It is.
I mean chain letter.
Whatever, chain letter, chain mail.
Chainmail's like what they wear under their armor.
Sure, it's also chain mails.
All right. What do you got here?
People commenting. Thanks. Oh, I
Oh.
was
Checking your Facebook. Just post your post.
where do I do that? I forgot.
Look what you're doing.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
People on YouTube are watching you check your Facebook right
Hey.
now.
Hey, it's okay.
This segment is called the Brendo Post a Facebook Post.
Every year, lots of people ask me, how do I go to, I want to go to con.
It's like the end of Doogie Howser. You gotta narrate it as you do it. But type like really super fast. Or I'll be Doogie. Every year, lots of people ask me how they get Comic-Con tickets.
I can't type in
Well, the first step is you have to have a member ID.
You're a dork.
Gotta make it entertaining. Tomorrow is the last day to register for a member ID. Gotta get the exclamation point at the end there. That's tough if you don't have the whole sentence yet. You don't know how to like inflect it. If you don't have a member ID, you won't be able to purchase a badge when they go on sale next year, period. So you better do that. You want to know how you know when you eat at your computer too much? When there's so many flecks of junk on your screen that you can't tell if stuff's a comma or a period unless you scroll to see if it stays still or not. And I'm definitely guilty of that. Oh, this is a good new segment. The new segment for our pre-show is Phil reads
Brendo
Phil
post on
reads Brendan's
Facebook.
Facebook post as he posted it. All right,
Okay, I gotta close this because I'm gonna
Yes,
just start
let's check it
putting
now.
on Facebook.
check the mic. Da-da-ba. Da-da-ba. Don't click
Shit
anything.
badges. You don't need to do that. We don't
Nope.
need to do any of this,
Nope.
right?
Nope.
I'm just making sure. I'm just
Not
making
doing
sure
that.
because this is freaking me out already.
You don't do any of that.
I know, but you know how it gets with Comic-Con, like,
I know.
ha.
Okay, we already got the thing.
I know we got the email saying we're good, but even just reading that makes me nervous. I'm like, ha.
I do. All right, you should open Audacity.
Because the day after tomorrow, how many people, the internet's just going to start screaming.
Yeah, because this is the earliest I feel like they've ever done something like this.
There's a September deadline?
Yeah.
Like, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy town. Stop doing that. You're freaking me
I'm
out.
doing my Newman.
That's your Newman?
Yeah, look at the picture.
Okay. What am I doing?
Open
Oh,
Audacity.
I got to close tabs. I'm closing
Okay,
tabs.
closing tabs.
Close. I guess I can close this whole browser. Oh, wait, no, we had the LA Podfest stuff up. Whatever, we'll remember
That's
it.
fine.
It's fine.
And your
It's
Google
fine.
Drive.
It's fine. Oh, yeah,
You
crap.
need that.
Why did you say that before I closed it?
Well, I didn't think of it until after.
When I'm like,
saw
I
it
can
wasn't
close
there.
all this. No, you can't.
No, you can't. There you go. All right.
It's 10:16.
I know. I'm telling you. You should open Audacity.
You should shut up.
I had the audacity to tell you to open this program.
I keep forgetting to post that bear picture from Comic-Con, the ones of the bear place that we took. They
Oh
were
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
I look like a dork. I'm like,
It's funny,
because
though.
I didn't know how it worked. So I was like,
Good. All right.
oh, I got my drink here.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
Check. Hello, test.
Testing. Testes. Testicular.
I was gonna say testes.
Huh. That's how my biology teacher in high school used to check mics.
Check. Hello, test.
Testing. Testes. Testicular.
I was gonna say testes.
I love listening
Stop
back to
touching.
ourselves.
I feel like this thing is just. But I feel like it's doing good, but it's also making a lot of noise.
good.
'Cause
Well,
I always tap it.
yeah, you do tend to like karate chop.
Ah.
People watching the YouTube can see you do it.
All right. I gotta get this laid out here. Too many windows. Close that.
Is it like, oh, there it goes. Okay.
Freaking Steam's popping up. Okay, we're going that there.
That needs to be like,
Oh
you want to like minimized or
yeah.
whatever.
That.
There you go. That's what you're trying to do there. All right. Think we're actually ready?
Now I minimize everything. There.
All right. There it is. There it
So
is.
that's ready to go.
That's
Then I just do
Just
this.
put that down.
Then I just do that.
Yep. Yep.
I'm practicing it. All right, we're checked.
Done it.
We did the Derek test.
Did it. Yeah.
We don't pull Derek.
No. Poor Derek.
That's right. Derek's a verb now.
You Dereked it.
He Dereked it. Because we had Benson a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Well, now we know what a Derek is.
Yeah. I forgot what a Benson was. What was a Benson? I know
No.
we said it for a while.
No.
Benson. I don't remember. It was something.
Hmm.
All right. You ready?
Ready.
Hold on. Crap. I could just hear things happening.
You know what you call it when
Oh, there we go. We're good.
when Derek makes bacon,
What?
splashes on him. Oil Derek.
Oh my gosh. That was really stupid. That was really stupid. I'm going to erase that from all existence.
It's on YouTube. It's too bad.
Yeah, but from the recorded existence, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, YouTube's recording.
All right. That's true.
It isn't.
It is recorded. Okay.
All right. Such a dork. My drink on? Dang it. Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creasy,
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
and we are here. It is later than we expected on a Monday night.
It's been about 2 hours and 20 minutes since we've been goofing off.
You got here at like 8:10.
It's like 2 hours and 10 minutes.
You just said 2 hours and 10 minutes.
It's been 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's 10:20.
Oh, you said 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And 10 or
Minus
10.
10.
I'm not paying attention because
math. We
getting
need to get
tired.
that math game we saw at Long Beach.
we do. It's called CalcuQuest.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of cool stuff at
A lot
Long
of
Beach
good stuff.
Comic-Con. A lot of cool video game stuff.
Yeah, they had like a good video game presence this year, which
Very impressive.
has not been
Good
there.
overall, very
Yeah.
like huge numbers.
Bigger than it's been ever.
Biggest.
Best.
Still miss the wrestling.
Yeah. And I would like to see Nintendo come back, but they're getting the video games back in there. We played Wii U games.
Played a bunch of them.
Played
Almost won
Xbox.
prize. We got free candy.
Yeah. Lots of free chips.
So many free chips.
So
Kettle
many.
chips were just like, take all
They were
the
just
chips.
giving them, I mean, every time we walked by, they'd hand you 2 more bags. They ate way too many kettle chips at Long Beach
Ate a
Comic-Con.
lot of kettle chips.
Even like last night or this morning.
Sriracha and maple
Like,
bacon.
finding
and
them
all
coming out of
that.
different
You're
pockets
still
in my
like,
backpack.
because you were just grabbing them every time and
Kept
stuffing
handing them to
them.
me.
You had stuffing them. You had some of my bags. I was like, here, Phil, you're gonna eat these
I
later.
tried to get you to get more.
I know.
Like, no more chips. Probably
Well, I
bad,
remember that one. We were talking about the time at Anaheim Comic Con, and there was nobody there. So there was like this one place. 5 Hour Energy was there,
but- Yeah.
and I had so many 5 Hour Energies that I was like, by the end of the night, I was all hopped up. I was like,
I had a couple
Like-
and I was gonna like barf.
And
I
they were
can't handle a bunch
disgusting.
of them.
They are pretty disgusting.
Yeah, like one of them, or whatever. But
They just taste gross.
yeah,
And then there was like an energy, like a power bar type thing. And they were just that's all. I remember we didn't get snacks, and I think we even skipped lunch because we just had like
ate
a
those
ton
things.
of those.
I got sick of those too. I'm pretty sure I dumped the rest of
By
mine
the
off on
second
you.
day, you're just
Yeah.
like, no
I
more.
can't do those anymore because they're again, neither of them were very good. It
No,
was just
but
all
they were free, and there were
That's the
tons
key.
of them, and they were just handing them
The
out.
kettle chips are good.
Yeah.
So like that was
And they were
trouble.
handing tons of those out. But they,
Sriracha ones.
yeah, there's all kinds of kettle chips.
Yeah,
It was like,
that's Long Beach Comic.
remember outside SummerSlam, Benson and I were out there, and they were handing out Doritos Jacked, and like at some point, the people that were like supposed to be handing them out just like put the boxes down, and there were kids walking around with entire giant boxes of Doritos Jacked, but they weren't even like, because I remember I grabbed a bunch, and Benson's like, you might want to try those before you grab a ton of them, and I took like 2 of them, and I'm like, oh, these aren't even
Yeah.
that, they weren't good.
It's not my favorite.
They were not good. So I'm like, so then we gave, so some kid, I'm like, hey kid, you want all these? And he's like, yeah. Like, all these kids are running around
Free
with just like this, like seriously, like boxes of them.
Remember at Biola for a long time, the Red Bull people would come by.
Oh yeah,
Every show we did, they would pass out Red Bulls.
yeah.
And I don't know why.
I remember the good stuff boxes. Like, if we would
Yeah.
go through those and like, there was all the like, because we would go in the RA's room because he'd have all the leftovers, and then we just take all the like of the things that we
Yep.
wanted, and like
I lived off those like little mini deodorants and
Yeah,
stuff.
I had
that's
like
why I didn't
100
buy stuff like
packets of cool water.
that.
Like, because they were like the little deodorant, like single-use
Yeah.
deodorant. I mean, single-use cologne thing. So I just had I had like stacks of the. I remember that whole year I didn't buy razors or like the little half-size
Uh-huh.
shaving creams. I had like 20 of those. Because
Yep.
people didn't want them. We're like, this is free stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
take it. The divide there between people that clearly didn't like have any money issues whatsoever, and then like the poor,
there were definite class systems. Well,
Definitely.
because it's a private school, so there were the people that their parents paid or
Right.
they paid. Well, their parents
the
paid.
parents paid.
And it's like at that time. I mean, now it's
Who
even
knows
more expensive.
now?
But then it was like what, 30 grand a year, 25, 30.
No, well, when my first year was only 18.
Well,
By the
my
end
freshman
of it-
year with like room and board and everything, you were looking like 25.
Yeah, I think it got up to that by the time I was done. I know it's way more now.
But my freshman year, it was like 25,
Yeah.
maybe 30, because I had full Cal Grant plus loans plus 2 other private scholarships.
Yeah.
And Cal Grant's supposed to pay for your whole school, because
Yeah, it
Cal
definitely
Grant's
did
like
not.
Cal Grant was like 12 grand.
Well, because I had like offers of full rides from
Yeah.
other schools, and even that here. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't have very many
So,
loans, but
there were people that like straight up like paid for that. So
Right.
these rich, and then there was like scholarship and like financial aid
right,
kids.
we were the ones
and
digging
it was
through their
like
trash.
severe class barriers.
Yeah.
Like talk about like the because you had like the 1%ers that like
Yeah.
paid for this super
Probably a little higher
expensive private school.
percentage there.
So like a 10%er.
yeah.
But then there was like the middle class, which their parents paid some. But then you had like us in the cheapest dorm, where like most of us were on like cobbled together, like we were poor kids, and like we would like because we were in the dorms with no air conditioning, the cheapest dorms, and we were all just like because they would bring over like all because they had like there was like these promotional packages, and they're like the other dorms didn't want these, and we're just like give them all to us, like. Because it had like all the promotional products.
I still dream of the dumpster diving that we did. I mean, we got
Well, it
the
was
best
crazy.
stuff out of there.
Because like they would just throw away their
Like,
furniture
good stuff,
and like
furniture
like tons of stuff.
Clothes and just perfectly good things. I still wear the shoes I got out of the dumpsters at Biola. To this day, they are my dress shoes. When I dress up nice, I still wear those shoes.
And then like all the TVs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And like
we found so many of those, we would just smash them.
yeah, that became a big thing.
Boxes of like unused cassettes and stuff.
Yeah.
I have all those still.
Posters, like people were
Yeah.
like that was their solution at the end of the year, was just throw
Throw away
everything
all their
away,
stuff.
and we would just take it all.
We got it all. It's great. Those are great times.
Yeah,
I don't know how we got to that from Long Beach, but
free stuff,
free stuff. That's
chips, kettle
right. Lots
chips,
of free chips.
But it was a fun time.
Yeah, it was great.
Let's just we're gonna plow through this.
We'll talk more in detail.
We're gonna
about
lightning
Long Beach.
round this whole
That's
episode.
good.
Reader mail Denver writes in. So my wife is informing me that she deals with the company you work for. Oh,
So you work for you.
Esri. She uses their products at work. So I'm gonna guess that she's some kind of. I know it's very common with like city planners, architects,
Yeah.
other kind of government things. That could be a lot of different
That's
like
cool.
things that need because it's a geological mapping survey stuff. I don't even know the link. It's like Google Earth Pro.
That's
It's like
cool.
that was our competitor, and then they gave us all their business because they realized like, oh, this is a big, huge industry that we don't really. We're kind of done being part of
Right.
this because it's a whole thing, and they. So even Google was like, you guys come in, like we can't compete with you.
Oh my gosh! No, I know what his wife does.
What?
Okay, in the beginning of Denver: The Last Dinosaur, they're like in like a pit. It's like a paleontologist. They would use like that Earth mapping
Yep.
stuff. Denver, are you?
Are you Denver
Are
the
you
last
Denver the
dinosaur?
Last Dinosaur? No, we were just
Are you our
watching the
friend?
show beforehand.
Okay, right now, pause the podcast.
You can do this.
If you're on your phone or if you're at home on the web, pause the podcast. I give you 100% permission.
Wait, after we tell you what to do, don't pause it yet.
Okay, don't that yet. But get ready to pause. What you're gonna do is you're gonna type into Google, just type in Denver the Last Dinosaur theme. Watch the Denver Last Dinosaur, because everybody knows that from our age.
Denver,
You might know that
the
song.
Last
We know that
Dinosaur.
song. I sing it all the time. But I had not watched that intro in like 20, 30 years or whatever that was. Like, what was that, like 1990, 89,
Yeah, very
88,
early 90s, I
or
think.
late 80s?
Something like that.
So like 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
yeah.
I keep forgetting what year it is.
Yeah.
And like, so even if it was 1990, that was 25 years ago. And I hadn't watched it since then. So pause it now.
And
All right.
You've just watched that.
Now
That
you've
was
watched
nuts,
that.
right?
That was insane. How crazy was it? It's crazy.
Yep.
It's got like people in mohawks and punk rock dudes.
BMX,
It's got BMX bikers. It's got
skateboards,
so much neon.
and like literally a neon sign.
And then
Mohawks.
as Phil pointed out, right when because we were all at first. So the whole reason why we looked it up is because we were singing the song. We were like, because I just started doing it, and then Phil did it, and then I'm like, he's my friend, and a whole lot more, and then Phil's like, that doesn't sound right.
Is that really that's what I remember. But
And I'm like, that is. We both remember. So then we looked it up, and then sure enough, that's what they say. And then as they're saying, he's my friend, and a whole lot more, Denver is like licking them, and they're rolling around.
It's kind of odd
It's
timing.
really
I'm
weird,
sure that's not what they meant,
but it's
if
weird.
you think of it, yeah.
And then, but that show, if you watch that intro, first of all, watch that intro if you haven't ever seen this show. Here's what I want to happen. I want somebody that watches that intro that's never, like some of you younger folks
Yep.
that maybe have no idea what this
you
is.
just saw.
Tell me what this show is about. I want a
Based
show
on that,
synopsis
yeah.
just based on that. because like I don't even know what that was, and I've watched that show on a regular basis.
I don't remember what happened episode to episode. What do they do?
They had
Do
like
solve
weird
a crime or
adventures,
something?
and Denver almost got to. I think it was always trying to hide Denver from people.
Oh, that would make sense.
But then they also had weird, wacky adventures from the
Did
looks
they
of
go
that
back
intro.
in time a bunch because it showed like
Yeah,
old-timey dinosaurs.
I think that was
too,
just like here's his roots.
I guess.
But maybe they do. I don't remember.
I don't remember at all.
Because I remember that. Now I want to go back and watch because if that's what Denver Last Dinosaurs because I remember around that time it was like Flintstone Kids but Dad
we gotta go back
like what the heck was that? And then a pup named Scooby Doo, that was awesome too because it was like kind of like a parody. Remember there was a character named Red Herring.
Yep.
But like all those shows now, I'm like maybe we should take a look back.
Yeah, that was a weird time for cartoons.
Because that does nothing remotely like that exists now. Nothing. No. Like that is crazy. Except because there's all those shows now that are trying to be crazy, Cat Dog and Too Stupid, all those other things.
Cat Dog is still 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's true. What's the ones now? Uncle Grandpa. And,
yeah.
But they're intentional. Look at these bizarre, crazy, weird shows. Denver Last Dinosaur, that does.
Steven in the chat here says he bought the first season
we even
on DVD,
said it probably doesn't hold up. It probably sucks, but it's just, I'm sure it sucks. But it's just, I just want to see what the heck it is, because I don't remember it at all.
That opening
that opening scene is insane.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, now, again, there's these shows that are we're so weird shows, crazy kid show, you guys. That was a genuine this is what we think is a good kid show.
Yeah, it
based on.
I don't think it was trying to be crazy weird.
It's just a product of its time,
and it's also weird because, I lived through the '90s. That was my high school.
Yeah. Was
the '90s, and I would never have imagined in the '90s being able to look back and go, oh my gosh, that's so '90s looking. We had '50s dances or '60s dances.
But now there is
now you're
distinct,
that's it. That's
you can listen to the intro from 20 seconds of a song and be like, this is a '90s.
Yep.
So
especially mid to early '90s,
yeah.
Late '90s. Late '90s has a sound too.
Yeah, they all come on.
It's distinct.
They all do. There's distinct periods.
I just never would have thought that.
That's what hindsight you do. It kind of things start distinguishing themselves after the years go by.
Yeah.
So they're definitely.
I noticed it a lot as we did the music listening thing that we did, where we went back and listened to some stuff I hadn't listened to in quite a while. I was like, oh wow, I guess that is a little more dated than I realized.
What the heck was that?
A motorcycle or something.
Just like a chonk.
Or the lizard's back.
Don't talk about the lizard.
Okay, well, we'll get to the lizard later.
I'm scared.
I'm scared.
I'm not scared.
Scary lizard.
I'm just scared I'm going to wake up and that thing's going to be on my face.
We have to tell people now because they don't know what we're talking
There's
about.
There's a lizard in my apartment, you guys. Okay, last night, so I was doing laundry, and I think he got in during one of my laundry runs.
Right.
And I'm there's this blob on the floor, and I'm what is that? Is that lint? Because I was I picked up some lint earlier, and then I'm reaching over to pick it up, and it just starts walking away. At first, I thought it was a big spider, so I was ah! And then it was and then it's a little lizard.
Yep.
And then he went under the kitchen and the kitchen, and I could hear him every once in a while shifting around in there. And then I just kind of forgot about it, and then I told Phil about it, and then we saw him.
And then we spent half an hour
chasing him around the whole
great
apartment.
Outdoors style. I was carrying a pizza box trying to catch it, and Brendan was hitting at it with a stick.
And then it would come right at me, and I was ah!
Brendan was jumping up and screaming. I'm it's just a lizard. He's it came at me. It came at me. Needless to say, we did not catch the lizard yet. It's still running around, so. Brendan's worried it's gonna be on his face in the middle of the night. What if it's in your beard?
Oh my gosh.
What if it gets tangled in your beard and it's thrashing around?
If I woke
what would you do if you wake up and there's a lizard thrashing?
I would probably just have a nervous breakdown.
Brendan can't come to work today. He had a lizard in his beard.
Lizard beard.
You get a doctor's note for lizard beard.
I would probably just start punching myself in the face.
But then it would squish in there, and you'd have lizard guts.
Oh God!
Lizard guts.
Well, that's what I'm afraid of is smashing him. And then he's grounding my carpet. But then we just said I'm is he pooping around my house? Lizard's gotta poop.
I know, but I don't know what lizard poop looks like.
Does it look like bird poop?
Maybe. No, I think it's. I don't know. I want to look it up.
Did they pee? I know they pee too.
Yeah, you probably had
He's
lizard pee.
peeing and pooping all over my house.
What if you get lizard beard?
No. Anyways.
All right, so back to Denver's letter.
Oh yeah. So so we were guessing, and then we did that whole. Oh my gosh! Stop it, Phil. It's art. Stop.
Well, we were going to talk about Denver the Last Dinosaur anyway.
Plus, she's going to a conference where they're going to have a booth in Indianapolis this weekend. They do that all over the place. And those people traveling there, I set up their computers and all this other stuff, and I ship them to them if they're over. She enjoys their sweet swag. We do have good swag, including those little wind-up dudes.
Oh yeah, you have those?
Yes.
The good. What did I call him?
The good luck
The
dude.
good luck guy, but we called it something. I don't know. Mojo.
Mojo.
The Mojo guys.
Mojo
The wind-up guys.
Phil, we would wind it. Phil has a couple of them from somewhere. Someone sent
Got
them
them in some eBay lot.
And every time we wound it up, people would come. They would attract people to the booth.
It worked. It's like the little wavy guys outside the car place.
It's just like, look at this thing.
Hey. Didn't work for you, unfortunately, but
maybe I should start just doing a wavy guy.
Put a fan on you.
All right. Then he also says, I failed on the note giving.
Oh.
How are you doing on the note giving?
I definitely have some catch up, but I've been doling out enough of the things that I'm doing okay. But yeah, I need to step it up a little bit more if I'm going to actually make it.
She called me out. Ooh.
So she said, She
said, Denver, this is the last straw.
Denver. Now that we've got that in our head, every time we see him, he's writing, sorry, Denver.
Oh, come on. Nobody's ever.
I know, but what if that's super sensitive and we just mocked the thing? What if that's since he was a kid, kids sang that song to him and now we've brought up this traumatic experience? I hope not. Well, if we did, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I guess.
But it's a great song, so can't help it.
What if he doesn't even know what we're talking about?
What if now? Well, yeah, then it'd be cool.
Then he's like, oh my gosh.
Now he knows.
I don't know. He has to know.
The last time.
There's no way in the
depends on how old he is, I guess.
Yeah, but even then, somebody else. I guarantee you the first time I saw, because I never known anybody named Denver. If somebody came up to me and said, hi, I'm Denver, I feel like the first thing out of my mouth would be Denver.
Probably. Whether that's socially
because this sounds weird, but I have a lot of things in my that just kind of stick in my head. And Denver, the Last Dinosaur, I've randomly just that's come out.
Yeah. Well, again, I knew the lyrics too, but I haven't watched that since 1990
it's
or
one
whatever.
Of those things that's in your head,
yeah.
Flintstone Kids and all those other songs, because we watched them
But you know what's funny? When I think of Flintstone Kids, I think of we are Flintstone Kids,
10 million strong and growing.
Yeah.
But also, but that show was pretty stupid.
Is that the one that had the Great Zazu? Or
no, that was on Flintstones.
But they had a crazy
Gazoo. Flintstones.
But on the kids ones, they had a wacky
they had all
character
kinds
too,
of dumb
right?
stuff. I don't know. Who knows?
I just feel like they had some other crazy character on there.
There were so many dumb shows.
Remember the Potato Head Kids?
Yes.
They had a show. Everything had a show.
They made kids of everything.
Yeah.
Remember the little Pac-Man, the Pac-Man kids?
Baby Pac-Man.
And then there was the Smurf kids. Everything had kids.
Yep.
There was everything. And those little Smurf kids always got in trouble. They were always getting off.
Little rascals. Blue rascals.
Yeah. Blue rascals.
Rascals. But rascals.
Little rascals.
Little rascals.
Was that you that there? No, it was funny. One of our friends, Rick, was talking about how he started watching Little Rascals with when his kid was really young. He started watching with them, and then he had to stop because they hit each other with bats and stuff.
Yeah,
they're
not good.
vandalizing things and giving kids hey kids do it.
Cool.
So his kids started doing all the stuff he saw on the TV, and it's that joke in The Simpsons where he brings them to the Looney Tunes wing, and it's all these people that tried to do things at Looney Tunes. And he's like, and then Dr. Herbert's you don't even want to see our Three Stooges wing.
Yeah, seriously, there's something about that stylized violence. I don't know, but I watched it as a kid, and I never dropped an anvil on myself or anything. Never poked someone in the eye.
You never did. I think I may have hit my brother because
I'm pretty sure we did the pretend we're boo, and they blocked it, but I don't think it ever backfired. Maybe I'm forgetting.
But
Maybe
I
I had
could,
my knocked out of me.
but then they watched them later and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But like I feel like at a certain age where like if you're really impressionable and it's like people
Well, to be fair, like we watched the movie The Little Rascals, like the I don't know 90s one.
Mhm.
I think we watched it with Audrey, or maybe I'm thinking of Amy. But one way or another, like we watched it and we're like, oh, this is probably not like, yeah, we're not gonna watch this again until you're a little older. Same idea.
All right, Denver also tweeted, how are you not part of the LA Podfest? You have 185 episodes, average 3 hours apiece. Well, I'm totally agree
Yes.
with you. Like, we could go there and crush it. But I don't know if you've noticed this, but all those shows, you either have to be like a famous person, like a legit, like a comedian, or like there's a lot of comedians.
Yeah.
Or like those podcasts get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of listens, whereas we get hundreds of listens.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We are going to the LA.
We're
Podfest,
going to the Podfest.
so who knows?
We're gonna be there on Saturday. I'm hoping we meet up, make some good connections. We can because apparently we know, not apparently, but there's a podcast lounge, and then like you can like
you
people
bring your
are wandering
stuff
around,
and record.
and then hopefully meet people and be like, hey.
We got cards and stickers.
So we'll see what happens. We'll be there on Saturday. If you're going to be there, tickets, lapodfest.com. Lots of big power. I'm excited about the live WTF. We also discovered that, what's the radio guy's
Phil
name?
Hendry's
Phil Hendry's going to be there. Kumail, they're doing a live indoor kids. We're hopefully going to that, and we're going to WTF. And then in between, then we're going to be getting our network on, getting recording doing recording and other stuff. Also in that podcast lounge, there's free food and drinks.
There you go.
I know we'll definitely be all over.
We're gonna be.
We just talked a lot about getting free food and drinks. So and then there's a happy hour, and then there's another thing. There seems to be lots of free.
That's good.
I'm hoping for a lot of swag and a lot of like stuff.
That's good.
There are some panels, but like I'd rather do recording than go to a panel about.
Yeah, we need to
things.
be making stuff.
We need to be in there. We need to be in it.
Yeah,
and we're gonna be in it.
So, I mean, if you know anyone, if you got any connections there too, hook it up.
If you want to email the LA Podfest people or tweet them and say you should have BrendoMan, go for it. Just don't be
cool.
a jerk.
Yeah, be in a nice way.
Be nice.
But if they hear enough people saying, hey, I'd like to see that, who knows?
So all 10 of you.
Yeah. There's more than 10. We had someone at Long Beach, by the way, that came up and recognized us. And I want to say hey to Jason Paul.
Shout outs to Jason Paul.
Thanks for coming up and saying hey. Hooked him up
sorry
with
we talked your ear off.
I think we scared off your friends.
Scared off his friends.
But that's what we do.
That's what we do. So. We're a tough sell.
Yeah. Well,
even in real life.
Talk a lot. But that was really cool. It was great.
Because it was funny. Like at first they were like, "Oh yeah," then they're like, "Okay, we're gonna go now."
Like, that was nice to meet you. Now, Jason mentioned that he's got a podcast that he does.
Yeah.
So you gotta give us that info. Tell us what it is you do. And he's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, we were talking about you doing your set at an
Hey, I told one of my jokes during the webcomics panel, and I got everybody
really good. You had a good laugh. I laughed. That was great. I totally put you on the spot because you said, "Oh, I got all these ideas for jokes." I'm like, "Give us one." Give us a joke. And he did it. It was great.
Everybody laughed.
It was really funny.
Yeah, I've got more time travel stuff.
Yeah, that was great. You could do a bit on that.
Yeah. Well, I got a bunch of. I kind of spun around. I got a few on that.
Well, that was. I mean, that was the biggest laugh of the whole panel. So.
Told a joke that I wrote.
Yep. So there you go. That was kind of like your first foray into stand-up,
I guess. Well, I told some stuff. I did a little bit on when I went into what I would talk about, like my Special Olympics.
Well, on the show, but I mean, like in front of a live, in person.
See, I got a lot of good material, like Special Olympics, time travel. I got some other stuff. I got some Silence of the Lambs jokes.
It's good. That's good.
That's in my 5 minutes. Yeah, that's all in there. But so that's Denver. Thank you, and everybody, if you're gonna be LA Podfest, come say hi.
Please, let us know so we can.
And we'll have you on the show.
Can be on the show.
You can absolutely. If you're at LA Podfest, come find us, and then we'll have you on the show.
Yeah,
that's a Radio BrendoMan guaranteed. As long as my gear works.
Yeah, and
as long as my computer doesn't explode.
WTF or something.
If you come when we're in the podcast lounge.
Yes.
Or near
weather permitting.
Weather permitting.
Other restrictions may apply.
As long as we're not talking to somebody famous. No, if we're talking about somebody famous, please come.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
be like, if
Oh,
we're talking to somebody famous, I want somebody to be like, oh my gosh, Phil and
Yeah,
Brendo.
I'm a huge fan
Like
of the show.
if you
Play
see
it up.
us, yeah, oh
Please,
yeah,
that's what you do.
that'd be the greatest
Okay.
thing ever.
There's like nobody that's going to be doing this, but if you do,
And we will
double prizes.
double prizes.
Yes.
I'll buy you lunch.
There you go. If we're talking to someone famous,
I'll buy you lunch at the Podfest.
Yes. If it's someone like sort of famous, we'll buy you like a soda. Depends on how famous they are.
Like if we're talking to Marin
All right, Marin. Marin is lunch.
or Kumail or somebody or
Okay,
anybody,
yeah.
anybody, if we're talking to somebody that's like a podcaster at the LA Podfest,
Yes. Okay,
Like-
that's good.
I will buy you lunch if you go up while we're talking to him. Be like, Phil, Brendo, BrendoMan.
I'm a huge fan.
I'm such a big fan.
Ask us for an autograph.
Yes, before you ask the person next to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before, if Mark Marin's there, you ask us for the autograph first.
It was like the greatest thing.
I'll buy dessert if you do that.
I'll tell you right now, I wish I had gone back and found this kid. I don't know if he did it intentionally, but it was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Okay.
I was outside. We were outside the Lovitz, and I was hanging out with Jay, and some dude came up, and he's like, Brendo! And I'm standing with Jason Mewes,
Right.
and got a picture with me, and then he looked. I think it's because he didn't know I was with. Because why would I be with Jason Mewes? But it still made me feel good that like he went up to me, and then he was like, "Oh my gosh, Mewes!"
Yeah.
Because
You're here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was awesome.
All right. Well, we've set it up. Now we like try to make people
It's not
do
gonna
it, but
happen.
it's probably not gonna happen. But if it does,
If it does,
it'd be cool.
and Andrew Lindy can't. Andrew Lindy's disqualified.
Yeah.
No, if Lindy does it, I
If
guess
Lindy
it
does it.
can.
That's cool.
He's like,
Gotta
I
be
don't
a good
know
actor,
these
though. He
guys.
can't,
Gotta
like-
be real good.
Yeah, but why? Hello. I
Yeah.
am a huge fan.
But he's not in the chat,
No.
and he probably won't listen back
That's okay.
because he listens to like 8 million real podcasts. All right, Steve Espinoza says, "Hey guys, last episode you talked about Phil's kids performing shows for you guys. Brendo talked about his Thriller routine with his brother. Well, I can laugh at this now, and when I was 4 years old, I enjoyed it. But growing up, my parents would remind me of when I used to do dance routines to the soundtrack of Dirty Dancing and Top Gun. Yes, me and my older sister of 3 years would dance to Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. Time of my life and love is strange." Wow. Yeah, really embarrassing when you're not 4 years old anymore. Anyways, take care, guys.
Well, to be fair, Luke has had his fair share of like dancing performances with Audrey.
Luke dances to BrendoMan
He
All
has
Stars.
we got to get that on video.
He does the pop and
he has a
lock.
whole choreography to our song.
He pops and locks and does this whole thing, and he even like does the pause, the
Yeah.
dramatic like.
Yeah, and he knows like where the breakdowns happen and stuff.
We
So,
do have to get that on video.
Yeah, we've all, especially if
Actually,
you have older sisters though.
Honestly, what we should do is we should do that live, and Luke can be like our interpretive
yeah,
dancer.
like dancer, like Juan for Joy
He'd
Electric.
never be able. He would. He's too self-aware to do that.
I don't know. It depends on the mood he's in. He might and he might not. But if there's a bunch of people, he might not.
Yeah.
But they are performers though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got to get him going. You got to still
Yeah.
get him young.
Gotta get up there.
I mean,
We'll
if we're
see.
up there making a fool out of ourselves, they got to see us like being goofy.
Yeah. If we're doing it, they'll do it. Because he's come up on stage with me when I'm like announcing for shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He'll come right up with me.
All right.
Audrey too.
That'll be awesome. We still got to get them. I feel like we're almost at the point where we can do the Luke and Audrey cast.
Oh yeah.
Like
that
at
would be
least
pretty
with
fun.
like us and
Like
them.
just a short one.
Just all four of us talking and.
You guys want to
goofing.
hear that? Because it would be pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Let's get a
Yeah.
verdict
We'll
from
get
the.
some feedback on it.
How
We'll
does
do it.
everybody feel about the Luke and Audrey cast? Because we'll do it.
Yeah.
They'll do it. I'm sure they'd
You
love
want
it.
to hear about Legend of Zelda and My Little Pony, Barbie, that kind
And we
of
can,
stuff.
but we can also be like tell
Spider-Man.
funny stories about your dad and
what does
Uncle
Daddy
Brendo.
do? Yeah, well, Uncle Brendo. What do you do when you hang out with Uncle Brendo? Oh,
We
it could be
we
good.
could have listener questions
Could be good.
as long as they're appropriate.
Yes, kid appropriate. I will be the gatekeeper here, so
Look
beware.
At me, look at you, Mario.
Well, thank you for writing, Steve, and everybody, and please send in your letters and emails and whatnot. BrendoMan at gmail.com.
At BrendoMan on Twitter. We're on Facebook, Facebook message, Tumblr. You can ask us anything. We got a contact form on radiobrendo.com. That's probably the easiest thing to do.
All over the place.
We make it very easy because that's what you should do if you want to have an interaction with people.
Interact with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where else you can interact?
Yes, where? Tell.
Listen, so you can interact with all the other listeners on Stitcher by thumbs up and commenting on episodes.
That's true.
If you go to radiobrendo.com, click that Stitcher link. That'll take you right to our show page. If you haven't signed up yet for an account, use the code BrendoMan. It's your free account. Use it. Listen to your podcasts on your computer, on your mobile device, everywhere. There's even Stitcher-enabled devices now and other things, and smart TVs and
if you pause, you can pick up later.
Your refrigerator, maybe.
So when we give you assignments to listen to like a theme song, you pause it and it keeps your spot.
You can even do it on your phone. You can bring it on.
Perfect.
It's pretty great. And you can listen to all the Ben V Network podcasts there. Go to benvnetwork.com and listen to all those shows. There's a lot of them.
I'm going to read them tonight. I want to read them.
Do it.
I'm going to do it fast, right?
Fast.
Benson's Boombox, Benview on Spielberg, Comic Nerds Unite, Dinner Party Small Talk, Extra Damage, Flagging the Dragons, Friday Night Film Fight, Grissom on the Run, MBWS, Midnight Marinara, Nerd's Eye View, Pick Your Path, Picture Start, Pillage Cast, Popsicles, Shut Up Leonard, Star Wars Nerds Unite.
Dang.
It's pretty good, right?
You almost, MBWS almost tripped you up, but you kept it going. You did not stop.
I did not. I got it.
Papa, 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 papa.
Also, you should join our Facebook group because
then you know what that was.
To all of our group members out there.
Oh, dude,
the one I posted, I watched like 20 times. The guy playing the like piano when he's just pounding on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that.
Yeah. You know what else I can do?
You can have your website.
I can, and I can host it on DreamHost.
Yeah.
If
I almost did a DreamHost plug during the webcomics panel. I'm like, that's too much. I can't do that. But I meant that's helpful. Save money. But then I don't know. It would have been too much. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I'll do it here.
Yeah, we'll be that guy here all over the place.
If you want to save money on your web hosting account that you can start, anybody can do it. One-click WordPress installs, all kinds of easy stuff. You want to get your store going, they got one-click cart and Zen cart, whatever. I got it working.
Yeah.
On the Popvox site, if you want to, you can have that cool store. Sell your stuff. Sell your podcast episodes. Sell everything. Don't sell your podcast episodes because then nobody
sell stuff for your podcast.
I mean, you can sell podcast episodes if you're like Mark Maron or somebody huge.
Yeah, does he? But his is
is anything over like a month old or 2 months, like 40 episodes. He only keeps the most recent 40 episodes, I think, or something.
Okay.
And the archives, you got paid.
You pay, huh?
Which is kind of genius.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
if you're that big,
if you can get it,
go
for you guys, we're free.
So
that's good.
We'll always be free. I'm not charging for my podcast. That's ridiculous.
Nah.
But I will charge for personal appearance fees, and
I'll come for free for now.
Now,
depends on what you want me to do.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you want to, Radio BrendoMan, BrendoMan All Stars, we don't play for free.
We could.
Depends
on where you are. If you fly us out there, we'll play for free.
If you fly us to,
where are you? We'll come. No one's asking. It's okay. We don't have to worry about it. But you know what people are asking for? A good deal on shipping and other fine.
Well, we didn't
products.
did we say the code? It's Radio BrendoMan is the code on DreamHost. And you'll save $50.
$50 free domain registration.
And you can use with that $50 that you save, you can use it to buy stuff on Amazon Prime.
That's right.
Or you can use that $50 to spend towards a $99 it's a year for Amazon Prime. And if you're not sure you're ready to spend that money, we got you hooked up.
Right.
We'll give you a free trial. Just go to radiobrendo.com, click the Amazon Prime free trial. You get a 30-day trial of Amazon Prime. It offers unlimited ad-free access to over 1 million songs. You got that Amazon Prime Music Library.
Yep.
You got that Amazon Instant Watch library with HBO stuff, with all kinds of stuff. Mine not like a lot of stuff is on Netflix and both of them, but there's stuff unique. Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah.
Some
Well, it's got a
Nickelodeon
lot of
stuff. Salute Your Shorts.
Well,
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Uh,
Your show that you watch with your
Mortimer
kids.
Gibbons, you've got to see it.
All those other cool Amazon shows everybody talks about that I don't watch.
You should.
Like there's lots of them.
Yeah.
Man the High Castle, everybody's saying that's pretty cool. Some other stuff. I know Matthew watches some of those.
Yeah.
And I should if I had time to watch them. But you can try it all for free for 30 days if you go to radiobrendo.com. Click the Amazon link. Even if you already have Prime, or if you're like, I don't need Prime, that's fine. We know you still shop on Amazon.
Everybody
You buy
does.
cables, you buy cereal, you buy Surge, you buy DVDs and toys, and you buy Kindle books.
Yeah.
You buy that Amazon Music.
Light
You
bulb.
buy video games, digital games. They sell codes. They sell weed. They're
eShop
friends
now.
with Nintendo again.
Yeah.
And you can get eShop titles, and eventually there's going to be sales and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes Amazon does some crazy sales, so I'm keeping my eye on that.
Yeah.
They also got this new thing called Amazon Underground, where you get apps that normally cost money and they're totally free. Like even
Really?
the in-game purchases are free.
How does that work?
I don't know. They worked out some deal with the developers, trying to get in goodwill with all the developers and get back in that mobile scene. So all you got to do, if you have a Kindle device, like a Kindle Fire or something, it's like built, it's already in there.
Right.
But if you have an Android or an iPhone, you have to it's kind of, you have to do a sneaky, because like they don't let you have like other app stores by default. You have to do the uncheck, because normally they have a checkbox where it's like install things from outside sources. I know on Android, maybe on iPhone you can't even do it. I think it is just on Android. I don't think it's on iPhone. But you do have your Kindle Fire. You could do it on there, and you get all kinds of free apps. I got the Inside Out Bubble thing. And these are ad-free, totally free. So again, Amazon, lots of cool stuff.
Good. Well, and if you're going to do some shopping on Amazon, you want to help the show out, go down on the right-hand side of our page, click the Amazon link or banner,
and then buy stuff like normal.
and it helps us out. And then we will read off anonymously what you bought. We had just a few things this week. What do we sell?
I think we got some manga. I think that's what
it looks like
that's
there.
what this stuff is. Witches Volume 1. This is like a book.
Yeah.
This sounds cool.
Stephen
A Fabulous
King says
Triumph.
Fabulous.
Whoa. I'm adding this
Dark
to wish
and
list.
brutal.
Adding that to wish list already.
All right.
Because Stephen King likes things, they're usually good.
There you go.
And it looks spooky.
It does. It's witches with a Y.
Yeah, cool. Ooh, it's about Litchfield, New Hampshire, and spooky and mythology, and the most terrifying comic you've ever read.
Wow.
MTV News. Oh, it's a comic.
Like a graphic novel, looks like,
I
maybe.
guess so. They always say you can look inside.
Yeah, you can't really look inside.
Can't really look inside.
Well, whoever got it, tell us what you think. 'Cause I'm
It's from
curious.
Image Comics. Well, I'm definitely interested in
right.
that. All right, and then
What else to get?
We got XXX Holic. I know it sounds dirty, but it's really not. It's like a manga. Because like I've seen that. It's like a manga.
All right. Another comic book.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Omnibus 3.
Yeah. And then we got sulbatamine, nootropic supplement. And none of those words make sense.
Well, supplement. I know what that word means.
Sulbutamine.
I have a feeling that
Enhances cognitive function. Improves mental stamina. Improves memory and mood. I don't know, man. Whoever's getting this better be careful, because this might be one of those things that like.
what if they like become a what was that in conspiracy theory where they wouldn't let them sleep ever?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like that?
Mm-hmm.
Are you being held captive?
Mm.
Maybe they just want to have a good memory.
They tested this on 1,772 people, and only 8 people experienced nausea.
That's good.
I like those odds.
That's a good chance there. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this week as far as what people bought.
You can take this with Pricetam, caffeine, and theanine.
I don't know what 2 of the 3 of those are.
And then it says the effects diminish after 1 week of use. I don't know. I'm not sold on this.
I don't know. It's risk free.
I gotta know what's going on with this. Is this your mother-in-law? This seems like your mother-in-law's
I don't think so because I don't.
Or your mom?
No, it wouldn't be her.
She's into this stuff.
I don't think so. I don't
She's
know.
always got
Maybe.
some new thing.
Maybe.
This sounds. Is this like all that other stuff? I don't know. I'm curious about
I
this.
don't know. Tell us about it if you're listening.
Well, be sure to check out our Facebook group, subreddit, Kickstarter, and we're doing the
Well,
final
we're in
voting.
the final voting now. So just this last week,
I'm going to start recording some commentaries and
yeah.
special episodes. We're going to be recording the actual vinyl soon.
Yep. Okay, so
we're planning that out.
For those
we just had this whole string of like cons and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
It's been busy.
Well, for those that, in case you haven't voted yet, or maybe you just want to hear what it is, you want to hear the final things we're voting on.
Yeah.
So remember, we're doing 2 commentaries and 2 special episodes. The final 4 movies for the commentary are, let's see, Angus, A Back to the Future. It says any Back to the Future, so we get to pick. Peanut Butter Solution, and Marmaduke.
Oh my gosh.
Marmaduke is one of the top 4.
You guys suck.
So we might be doing Marmaduke. We'll have to see. There was a lot of votes, and I had to, pare it all down, and that's what we got.
If we do Back to the Future, I want to do Back
What
to
do
the
we
Future
do? 2? All right.
I feel like because it's
Fun
right
one.
in the middle and it's fun.
Well, it's also like 2015, so it's
Yeah.
kind of an appropriate year
It
to
is.
do that. So that would be cool. But we'll see.
And I mean, I don't know.
We've got a few votes in, but we'll kind of give it a week because it usually takes people a while for everybody to kick in there.
So we just want to say one more time, Long Beach Comic Con was awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
for everybody that came to the panel.
Yeah, thanks to Martha and everyone for letting us do it.
Although we had one bummer.
What's that?
PF Chang's doesn't have their freaking lunch menu on the weekends anymore.
It was really
That was
really
like our
good,
big
but
tradition. Is like you get all that food at PF because it's like that. Normally PF Chang's is like a little bit out of our price range for a normal.
Yeah,
that's
for
like
a
a special event thing.
I was not expecting it to be. Usually we walk out of there with like $10 or $11.
Yeah, because you get like a little plate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
like
over
everything's like a
20.
little combo. Yeah, it was like over $20 a person.
Yeah, so it was delicious, and the
But
guy
that'll
was like
probably be the last time.
best server like ever.
That'll be the last time we go to Chang's during Long Beach Comic Con,
Yeah.
unless it's on a weekday.
Well, unless
or
they
something.
I would even go by and check the menu and see if they change it back.
I don't feel like once they make those changes, they
They
usually
change
don't.
stuff. You never know.
Well, it was kind of a bummer, but
It
it was
was.
fun. It was good hanging out with
Good.
Derek,
Yeah,
and we had good
had
food.
lobster, shrimp.
But we might
lobster
be
shrimp.
back at Islands next year.
Yeah, that's cool. Whatever.
But it was just that's been our tradition for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Like that was like our big thing.
We're like, oh, no lunch special. That's.
But by that point, I'm like, I'm eating
Well, we
Chang's
were already sitting down.
because I'm like, because
Yeah.
like that's something I was all excited for,
Yeah,
and yeah,
It was
but
good.
It's fine.
but yeah, we had a
And
good
Got
panel.
meeting up with people, saw a lot of people, saw old friends,
Yeah.
you found out about what is it called? The Southern California Amiibo.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Jonathan
was telling
London's
us about it.
group,
Yeah, Amiibo Hunters.
Amiibo Hunters, which you're
I think
now.
it's SoCal Amiibo Hunters.
Yeah, now
There's
you're-
a couple different ones, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm in one of them now.
Yeah, because Jonathan told you all about
Yeah.
it.
Well, okay, so Super Mario Maker, which I got last week.
Yeah,
And I finally got to play it like today was the first time I got to try it.
yeah.
It's amazing.
You actually didn't do it last night.
Well, no, because I was like, I need to go
You
to
were
bed.
so
and
excited.
I knew if I started on it, I would
You
never go
just
to
never
bed.
go to bed. And
So then
you
I'm like,
did.
I'll just put on like a Comedy Bang Bang. And then I watched like 5 episodes of Comedy Bang Bang.
See, you
So
could
I
have been
could have
playing Mario
it.
Marker.
But I kept telling myself,
Okay.
I'm just going to fall asleep to this one. And it was so funny. And I just kept watching it. And I'm like, So, and I had to do stuff productive today. But, I got a chance to play a little before the kids came home. And then I played with the kids like the whole time after they got home. And it's amazing. But
everybody was saying even just playing the Super Mario levels in HD and all that is like
amazing.
the greatest thing ever.
Oh, dude, everything about it is great. The creation, because usually I'm not like that excited about making the stuff on it. I like to play with other people.
But now,
it's so intuitive. Both Luke and Audrey have already made 2 levels that are fully playable on their own without me touching it.
There you go.
Like it's that intuitive. Like they can just build it. And
Is
they're
Skinny
fun.
Mario as freaky as everybody
Skinny Mario's
says?
weird looking. It's just good. The kid thing is hilarious because he kind of like he like walks like a monkey kind of
Give
thing.
Link Mario and
Well, yeah. Well, so that's what made me think of it is that every single amiibo you scan in and it gives you that character.
Dude.
So there's like, I don't know, 60, 70 characters you can get.
And you're Mr. Amiibo.
Right. So now I'm like, I have to have them all. So like so then we were like playing through the levels that people have made. Someone made one where you have the little Splatoon guy, like the
Yeah.
squid, and they made an underwater level where he's swimming against like all the what do you call them, the bloopers?
Yeah.
Like so it's a squid fight, like going against the squids,
Nice.
going through the whole level. It's amazing. I don't know. The whole thing is great. There's been a couple people that have built levels where they're like don't touch anything levels where you just don't touch it and you automatically win because it has different springs that bounce you through and it's like perfectly timed out to bring you to the end of the level.
Nice.
So there's a bunch of those. The kids like those. I don't know. It's incredible. Super, super fun. But now
How
I have
many
to have
levels have you like downloaded already? It's like tons.
well, so far I haven't downloaded any. I've
You
just
can
played them all. You can
oh.
play them all on there. And then if you really like a level, you can download it to have like so you don't have to connect, I guess. But you can just play them all, and you can like favorite lists and search for stuff. And if you like someone's like levels, you can like favorite their creator and then go and see what else they've done. And they have rankings for people whose like stuff gets starred the most. So there's like even a competition on that level. It's so cool. And this is like it only came out 3 days ago, and I know it was like a week earlier in Europe. I think Japan's had it for a little bit, but like the stuff people have already made is insane.
Yep.
Like this one guy built a whole level and it's Toad treasure trackers, but it's in the style of like Super Mario Brothers 1.
Mm-hmm.
But it follows all the rules of Toad's treasure trackers. So like you never have to jump to beat the level. You can do the whole level without jumping because you can't jump in Toad's treasure trackers. And there are all these like floating buildings that you have to go through. And
I
it's
still
amazing.
haven't played that game.
Oh, it's so fun. So anyway, it's great. That was a little sidetrack.
Long Beach Comic Con was awesome.
Long Beach Comic Con was awesome.
We played this. There was the coolest game because there was a whole little indie game corner.
Yeah.
The coolest game was called crap.
What was it?
CalcuQuest.
CalcuQuest.
And it was by Spencer Yip is the guy's name,
Yeah,
and it
from
was
Yummy
Yummy Tummy. And they have a Facebook page, and they said they're working with Nintendo now because at first they were going like indie, and then they picked Nintendo, loved it, and they're gonna be out next summer. It said, and
but it's cool. It's like an RPG, like turn-based,
like Pokemon.
But in order to do your moves, like
math.
to attack, you have to do these math problems. But it's not just do a math problem.
You have to like figure out because like certain guys have like numbers they like, so you got to make sure the answer if it has that.
You write like a number sentence that has
there's
that
all
number
kinds
in
of different. It's really cool. I was like hooked on it.
Well, right, because it's so like on a very basic level, you can just try to get the biggest number to attack.
Yeah.
But then like you can try to figure out exactly how to if you get the exact amount that the bad guy
And you
has,
catch
you
him.
capture it. So it's like a Pokemon thing. And like even I mean like we know math, but we're sitting there like trying to figure out and calculate like it's such a cool
and they were really
tool.
cool. And they did a raffle. If you played the game, then they did a raffle for Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And like it was kind of anticlimactic at the end because
there's only one person.
It's like, there it is. And I was expecting at least the first few, like the person wouldn't there, but it was like, nope. At least a kid won it.
Yeah, it was fun. And
that kid was probably stoked.
And that guy, Spencer, who's like did the game, he's the one that like coordinated the whole like indie game thing.
Yeah.
So
there was a bunch of other cool games. And we had a good time.
Yeah.
And there was lots of other cool stuff. Lots of fun activities.
The panel itself, we did not record this time.
Yeah.
But it was close enough to the last
heard
one.
our panels.
And it's similar that I didn't.
Oh, I did tell a joke.
Although you did, that joke was good. So I had to be there to hear that.
And we did go to some like how to make it. We went to Ralph Garman was on How to Make It in Hollywood panel with the guy
which was
from
really inspiring.
One of the showrunners from Arrow, like the creator of the show, like the co-creator, and then some other comics guys, and that was awesome. Went to another one about writing that was really cool. Like that dude was cool, and we talked to that dude, and like he without an agent wrote and sold like 12 Star Trek scripts, like for between Voyager and what was the one after Voyager? Enterprise.
Yeah.
So he said between those, it's like 12 shows.
Yeah.
And he sold some other stuff.
A lot of inspiring stuff. Like I feel like we've been doing good things.
We made a lot of good connections and talked to people and renewed connections.
We're gonna get something that we write made.
Something's gonna work out. I don't know. I feel good after that. And then on Saturday night after we traded you, we dropped. Janelle came and switched cars with you because she went with me, and I took Janelle on a it was like a birthday present. So like first, so we got there and Derek was already there, so we kind of hung out, and then like right away like Kat was we went to see the Blaze live with Lizzie and Kat.
I've been talking about
it, and I've been talking about it, and it was so awesome. And Kat was there, and I got to meet Kat's sister, and it was really cool because they were dressed up like 90s style, like Alex Monroe style. So I got to like right away, like I got to introduce Janelle, the cat, and like Cat worked at the LA Zoo, and like talked about the zoo a little bit. And that was cool. And then we went and got big gulps because we were thirsty. So I treated Janelle to a big gulp.
Nice.
And then we went in, and then we watched the show, and it was awesome, and it was really funny. And I was like, I know that Chuck Rosen's gonna be here, like, because like they're friends with him now. Like Chuck Rosen was one of the co-creators of the show, was the show like executive producer. I don't think he was a showrunner, but he wrote like 20 episodes, and he was like one of the main producers for the first 4 years of the show,
right?
Which many consider the best years of the show. The high school years,
right? And
the first year of college.
Okay.
And so yeah, so he was there, and then so they have this segment called Chuck's Corner, and then when they're like, well, guess what, we act, because they read emails from him, but he came up and his wife came up, and then Emily Valentine herself, Christina Elise was there, and again, like you never know with like guests, like what they're, because I had some experiences where it's like, oh, this person wasn't as funny as I thought they were gonna be, or this person, but she was hilarious. She dropped some crazy bombs, the craziest thing that she said, and this like blew my mind, of like a what if scenario, is because they wrote her off the show after Aaron Spelling promised that they weren't going to do that, and that she was going to get like a redemption. And then what did happen, and I guess she didn't say why it didn't happen, but the initial plan was, so in real life what happened was they spun off, they had this character Jake that they brought in at the tail end of season 2. Yeah, at the tail end of season 2, they brought in this character Jake just so they could spin him off into Melrose Place, because they had already, Melrose Place was in place, and they were going to spin it off and out to an O. So they brought him on as like a love interest to Kelly. The original plan, as revealed by Christina Elise in this episode, was Emily Valentine was going to be the star of Melrose Place, and it was going to center around him.
Be her thing.
And I'm like, I would have watched the heck out of that show, because I never really connected with Melrose Place. And that was kind of crazy. And then she just told some funny stories. The fact that like, so this episode was about them going to a rave, and like they do, because the censor, because then this was a time of like censors, and like they couldn't use a real drug name, so they came up with Euphoria, and it was ecstasy. Right, obviously. But she told some really funny stories. Before she was an actor, she was the one running like raves. That was how she made money. Like she's like, I was doing that like in the early 80s, like mid-early 80s. Like
funny.
And then she was in this episode, and that's why she was like, it was ridiculous. It was not like but she told some really funny stories, a lot of really great stuff. It was amazing. And then we got to meet her, and she was doing a book signing, so I bought a book for Janelle, and I bought a book for me. Oh wait, I didn't buy a book for me, because while we were in line for the book, I just noticed that like Chuck and Karen Rosen were just kind of standing around talking to people, and I'm like, when are you able? So this is like one of my favorite shows of all time, and one of the major creative people. Like it's like, it's like if, for instance, your favorite show is Freaks and Geeks, like Judd Apatow's just standing there. You're not gonna not go talk to him. Like, you have that opportunity to talk to the creator of your favorite show about and thank him for it. So I'm like, I got to do this. And I don't know how long they're staying or what's going to happen. So I got out of line. I gave Janelle the money for her book. I should have just had her buy my book too. And then I could have gone back in and signed it. I didn't realize that she had a very limited amount of books.
She should have had more. So,
well, I mean, you never know with these things. Like, so she had 19 books, and she sold all of them, and I was the 20th person. But it's more than worth it, because I got to tell Chuck Rosen like how much a show meant to me, and I specifically said my favorite episode. He's like, well, my wife and I wrote that episode, so like it was like, and then we like hit it off, and it was awesome. And like, I don't know what's gonna come out of that, but like they asked for my contact information, and like, I don't know, I'm kind of stoked on that. And it could just be cool, like, because I think they just want to hear more about my story. Maybe they'll produce the Brendo show. Yeah. Who knows? I think they were just really, I told them, because basically the main thing I told them was the episode where Dylan's dad dies. It was like, and like my dad died like a few months after that, and it helped, that episode just having that in my brain, how like I'm like, well, Dylan could do it. Like, I don't know, it sounds stupid.
No,
but like
it's very real.
It was very real for me, and like it was that show, and then just the show period, especially at that time, because I was super depressed, loser. I had 2 friends, and like so the 90210 gang and the Bayside gang, those were my friends. Like I know that sounds really sad, but like those were my friends, and I used to have dreams. I still do. I still have 90210 and Saved by the Bell dreams, where like when I have those dreams, it's not like I'm watching an episode of the show. It's like I'm part of the gang, and like we're on our crazy adventures. And sometimes they mix together in weird ways. I think I've already told this story, but like when I was watching Buffy and 90210 like alternately, and I had a Buffy 90210 crossover dream where like I'm at Beverly Hills High with the Beverly Hills High gang, but there's vampires there, and like we don't know what to do. And then the Scooby gang from Buffy shows up, and then we all like hang out after.
This is how
at the Peach Pit
fan fiction gets started here.
Yeah. There you go. I just did that. Somebody should make that fan.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's happened.
I'm sure.
And then Zach Morris shows up, and he's like, "Hey, let's hang out at the Max."
Totally.
And then you can be in the Zack Attack, and Brendo, you're the new lead singer, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
13-year-old Brendo.
But then you have a show at the party, and they ask you to sing for them.
Oh my gosh. It's still crazy that like Chase chases my Facebook friend and he posts stuff, and sometimes he likes my posts, like just random posts. Will say Chase and Hampton like this, and I'm like,
the party,
like that's him, and that's cool.
Yeah,
like I'll post like about some dumb thing, and that dude like likes it. Like that's all right. That's the world that we live in. Live. And also, again, that I got to talk to one of the creators of my favorite show, and him and his wife, who also wrote, and they were just very touched, and it was
they're also like did
Dawson's Creek
and other stuff.
Well, also Mismatch.
Oh, right.
Judy Greer.
Yeah.
I just watched an episode of It's Always Sunny where Judy Greer was on it. She is all over. She's so always everywhere, and she's always
you ever
awesome.
Watch that? What's the one with Gary Shandling that she did, the alien one?
Oh yeah, What Planet Are You From?
Oh my gosh,
that movie's awesome.
I love that movie.
Because was that an Albert Brooks movie? No, that was just Gary Shandling.
I think it was just Gary Shandling.
Yeah,
I don't remember who else.
Because what was the last Albert Brooks movie? Was it Looking for Comedy in Muslim? Has he done any movies?
I think that's the last one that he
needs to do more.
No, he was a dad in something.
Well,
that was his last.
But I know. Role. Well, I'm talking about movies that he made.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, because he made that movie.
That I know of off the top of my head.
Like, because I know he was like, he was in This Is 40, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like a Albert Brooks movie.
I think that's the last one, at least the last one that I know of. And that movie was great.
Yeah.
So
I
also,
think I need to give. You've already told me this, but I need to give The Muse another.
Yeah, it's
because I did not like it at the time, but I think I was just like, I don't think I knew who Albert Brooks was.
It for a long time because everyone like ripped on it.
I don't think I knew who Albert Brooks was.
It's very Albert Brooks.
And now that I'm like a huge Albert Brooks fan, because like I think at the time when it came out, I think I'd seen Defending Your Life, and that was like about it. I wasn't really aware of the whole
that one's like the weakest to me. Like,
you're crazy.
Yeah, well, Streep ruins it.
You are insane.
Streep's all over.
You need to stop talking right now, because you are freaking nuts.
But
you want pies? I'll give you 9 pies. I love that movie. It's so good.
Half of it is good.
You are crazy. You need to stop. You stop talking. That one with Mary Steenburgen where they're like on the trip across the middle.
Yeah,
that one's great.
I can't think of what that one's called. But that one's really
and then
good.
the one, this for like the reality TV
one,
like
that one, that's like
nuts.
Time travel. Like,
yeah.
How did he
like
predict
he's
everything?
A wizard.
Yeah.
I still got to read it. He just came out with a book a few years ago, and I was always like, I got to pick that up, and I still haven't done it. It's probably amazing.
Oh, I'm sure it is. What's crazy
His tweets are great. When him and Steve Martin and Gary, they all start tweeting at each other, and it's like the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. And some people just obviously don't get it, and then they'll retweet those tweets and be like, look at this idiot.
Well, when you watch that reality one, I think it's just called Life.
Yeah, or something
like that. it's almost not funny because it's just like watching a reality show.
Yeah.
Except at the time, it was like, this
And
is ridiculous.
and then
but
he predicted exactly what was going to happen.
Like it's exactly what it really is. Except this was in like 75 or something like that. 74, I think. I don't know.
And then his SNL shorts and all of that stuff.
Of course.
And he's a genius.
So yeah.
Wow, what
back to I don't
know.
know.
The
Blaze, yes. Well, so after
awesome.
you got talked to them, you guys after the show.
Then we hung out afterwards at they had like an after party. They had reserved the back area of this British pub, and it was like a real British pub. As soon as we walked in there, it was like fish and chips.
Right.
It was like fish smell. So at first, but luckily we're in the back, so it didn't like reek of fish back there. And Janelle ordered an adult beverage, which like was really was fun. And Derek ordered like a $14
like a fancy
whiskey.
drink.
Well, no, it's like one of those fancy whiskeys.
Oh, okay.
It's whatever. It's whatever. What character was it? It was Jeff. It's whatever Jeff Winger orders on Community. That's how Derek orders his drinks now.
I can see that.
It was like a McClellan Neat or something. It was $14.
There was one night on a cruise that David and I ran around trying to find someone that would sell a White Russian, and we couldn't. I don't think we were ever able to find like a bar that was.
Which is weird because most bars you can.
Well, it was at like 2 a.m, so everything was closed, and the people.
That, that's right. You don't know that bar time is a thing.
I didn't even know. I did not know that until the Babylon show we went to. I had no idea.
Although I think on cruises it's different because it's like when it's international waters.
I think
and all
most of them are just closed because they don't have a bunch of bars open at 2 a.m. But anyway, you guys were at this pub
and
hung out.
We had a good hangout time, and then like Lizzie and Kat were just like super stoked that we were there and we were talking, and they invited Janelle to be on the show.
Yeah, I guess Janelle like hit it off with them. It
was great.
So she might be a guest on the show.
Okay, like there is the caveat that Derek brought up, like they were pretty toasted.
That's all right. We can hold them to that.
But hey, no, they are always super nice. I'm not saying like I'm not sure how much of that like. I
don't remember.
Not that they were, because like I don't think they were that drunk, but like you know how people like they're very.
But Janelle said they asked her 3 separate times to be on the show. Like,
and they're great, and they're
because she was like cracking them up with her stories of like her and her sisters sneaking out when they were kids to go watch it.
Because a lot of us did watch it like super young. Like I mean, I was 10 when that show came out, and I remember watching the first episode.
Right.
And I mean, during the key times, it was like I was a tween. Like I was 13, like when they were seniors,
right?
And that was like the key time. But it was great, and everybody had a great time. We had a great time. No major traffic issues, no parking issues.
Good.
Everything was great. Got some comics for Luke and Audrey at Meltdown Comics.
Yeah, and they were super stoked on that.
You got a Bizarro Superman and a spooky My Little Pony.
Luke fell asleep with it tucked up under his shirt because he didn't want to lose it, so we had to like pull the comic out from under his shirt when we went to bed. So meanwhile, you guys had this great time, and we had a good time at this hotel. But I have to just mention briefly the hotel that we wound up staying at for Long Beach this week. So we did a hot wire, like a blind booking. It was for a 3-star. It was by Disneyland, and
not a 3-star.
We've had good luck with that before, but this one was not a 3-star. It was barely a 2-star. Let me just tell you, as you walk up, first of all, it's actually more of like an extended stay type thing. They don't make up your rooms. They don't give you new towels. They don't take out your trash. But
it's also called suites.
They're called suites, and they said we had a suite. But our suite, well, first of all, we'll get off the elevator, and there's trash. It looks like wadded up bits of toilet paper just all down the hallway. Mm-hmm. Carpet stain. It's just gross. We get in our room. The room is like clean enough, but the suite, quote unquote, is just a regular hotel room, but it has like a fridge and then a little like mini stove. Basically like a little,
that's not
studio
a suite.
Apartment. It is not a suite.
Because Embassy Suites, there's 2 rooms.
The queen bed, quote unquote, that we had was barely a double. So like one of the kids had like slept on the recliner chair the whole time, like because there wasn't room for everybody. We thought we were gonna need 2 queens. We wound up with 1 double. Because it's a suite. We're supposed to be in a suite.
Yeah.
Keep in mind.
Because again, Embassy Suites, you get the big room with like a big old queen bed. It might be a king.
Right.
And then you get the room with the pull-out bed. and then there's even still room on top of that to have people other
Right.
play. Like
There's a couch.
there's so much.
and
Well,
whatever.
the couch is the pullout.
Well, right. But I mean, you can have people hang out.
Yeah.
There's
There's we had a table, so we had plenty of space because we had a giant table with like 8 chairs.
Yeah.
Plus that couch, plus in the main room, in the big room, there's like all kinds of space around the. It's not like the bed takes up the whole room.
Yeah.
Like that's a suite.
There were a couple of extra
or
chairs.
even like you go to like a Holiday Inn Express and they have suites, and those are like I stayed in one of those with Carson and Courtney, and like we had like a living room, a bedroom, and then like another bedroom.
Yeah.
Like that was like 75
one room.
Like that's
This and we paid so we paid $66 a night plus they charged like $15 a night for parking. We weren't even that close to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So that's ridiculous. You
because
paid
that extended stay right around the corner does not charge for parking.
Right.
I've stayed at other places in that area that don't charge for parking because that is not an area where I feel like you can get away with
it's not
charging
close
for
enough
parking.
to no. They also claimed on their website that they had a free shuttle, and then we got there and
And
found
it's
out
the Anaheim Resort Transit.
which costs money
Yeah.
to do. So then, okay, of course, there's no like breakfast or anything like that. No food or anything. We had like 3 towels. So that
I gotta
night-
tell your towel story.
I guess it was the morning of like Saturday, and I take a shower. And you guys, if you're listening to the show at all, know like what my major like pet peeve or thing I freak out about the most is hair.
Yeah.
So I like get the
Hair
towel.
that's not yours.
I pull the towel off. I just like pat my arms down a little bit, and I kind of like shake it open and start to like go pat my face. And there's just a bunch of big old black hairs right in the middle of the towel. Big, long. Now, I'm talking like long head hairs. We're not necessarily talking pubes.
Could have been pubes.
No, like these were like 10 inches long, like
It could be
long
some
hairs.
monster pubes.
Okay, maybe like peanut butter solution pubes, but this like normal human head hair, but still, and there's just a wad of it.
Ugh.
And so I was like
So
inches
don't
away
clean
from
their towels
patting
or
my
something.
face with like a big old pile of someone else's hair. I'm like,
What would have
"Whoa!"
happened if you had like
If it
really?
just, I don't know. Like I just threw it
If
on
you
the
had just
ground.
started throwing up
I
everywhere.
wound off like toweling off with like a little hand towel because I was able to inspect it, and I was like so grossed out. And I'm like getting ready in the morning. Everyone's like waking up, so I'm trying not to like. Oh, so horrible. So that was just like a nightmare. I mean, and I'm trying to think. Okay, so then
Wasn't your bed like
the
super
bed was like rock
uncomfortable?
hard, like super uncomfortable on top of being tiny. They did have a lot of outlets, so at least they had that going for them. That's the one.
Stop
plus I
making
would say.
noise.
Sorry. So while you guys were doing your thing, I was hanging out with the kids, and we found out we thought they didn't have a pool at all, but it turned out they had a jacuzzi.
Janelle looked on their website and they had a rooftop. It advertises a rooftop
Right.
jacuzzi.
Well, it was actually on the 3rd floor. It was kind of more of a patio kind of thing. But anyway, they had a jacuzzi. Well, there's one spot where it looked like they had maybe like a small swimming pool, but it was like gutted, and like the kids asked if the pool had caught on fire or something. It was just like black in there, and I was like, I don't know what happened, but they did have a jacuzzi. It was like a normal size, like hotel style jacuzzi that was heated about as much as like a normal cold pool at a hotel. So it was warm enough that like we were able to play in it.
It's like a little kiddie pool,
But it was
basically.
basically like a little kiddie pool. And so the good part is
Did
like
the jets work?
the jets work. So we turned on the jets, but it was just cold jets, But so we had fun, and we actually, the kids have been watching Ponyo, like the Hayao Miyazaki movie, and like obsessed with it. And so we played Ponyo the whole time. We had a blast. It was fun, and no one bugged us because no one wants to go in a cold jacuzzi. Like it's just not fun. But if you have little kids, it's great. So I would also say if you're traveling with kids and you want a cold jacuzzi that no one will bug you in,
Don't tell people to go to this hotel.
this is the only thing that was the selling point there.
Stop playing with the
I
chair.
can't help it. I don't know why it's there.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I'm twitchy, tired. I'm trying to stay awake.
We gotta hurry up.
Anyway, it was bad. So, but in spite of all that, we had a good time, and yeah.
And be sure you can listen to the episode of The Blaze that
Yeah, they
just
do
put
record.
up.
You guys there?
It's up now. JunoBlaze.tumblr.com, and the week before they had Pete Holmes,
Nice.
which I'm
And maybe
super
they'll have
jealous.
Janelle Vecchio soon.
Janelle Vecchio, and they let me pick any episode
come back
for my
on.
next
Nice.
one. So I picked that episode. Oh dude, I don't know. I'm just like freaking out about the whole thing. It's pretty awesome. And I got my picture with Christina Elise, and Janelle took a picture of me with Chuck and Karen Rosen.
Yeah.
So she needs to post that or something.
She's got it.
And We already talked about Podcast Festival,
Next Saturday.
LAPodfest.com. You talked about Mario Maker.
But I do have one more quick thing in my Phil stuff to mention. Just a funny story about Lucas.
Oh, yeah. You're
Very short. So the other day, like this earlier this week, and I was driving the kids around, and the kids were talking about how they had seen like a stray cat. And I think they were with Amy, and they saw a stray cat, and they like went up and pet the cat with Amy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you should probably not like pet stray cats because you get ringworm. I'm like, it's okay to pet, like if you know who owns it or whatever, but you got to be careful because if they're not like cared for a vet, you get ringworm. Like that's reality. That's not even me being weird, Phil, about cats. Like stray animals, you got to be careful with that. And the kids are like, what's ringworm? And I'm like, well, it's actually not a worm. I explain it's a fungus, and
it looks like a worm. It's really gross.
Grows in your skin. It likes to circle.
Super contagious.
And I said, you'd have to get cream and, maybe like a steroid shot or something if it gets really bad, that kind of thing. And so the kids are like, oh my gosh. I'm like, they're like starting to freak out. I'm like, it's fine. I'll just don't pet stray cats. It's not like you're not going to encounter that a lot. So you're fine. Just be careful. And so like every night this week now, like Luke will lay down for bed, and then about like 5 or 10 minutes later, he'll, Daddy, I'm scared. And I'll come in the room like, what is it? What are you scared of? I'm scared of the ringworm, Daddy. I don't want the ringworm to get me. And I'm like, I've told you every night this week, like it's a worm. It's a fungus, and the only way you're gonna get that is if you're petting random animals. Like
there's other ways you can get it.
Yes, but I'm trying not to have him like have a panic attack every night here. So I'm
Luke's
aware.
Freaking out about ringworm.
Luke's got like ringworm, like terrors every night. Daddy, I'm scared of the ringworm. I don't want the ringworm to get me. I think because I explained that it like lives in your skin or something, so he's got this. Like,
I have had it before. It's disgusting.
I didn't, but my brother got it as a kid, and it was like it's horrible. It's like little circular. Yep. But anyway,
I had it like right here.
Yeah, so
I used to have to tape it up for football.
Yeah, because you can't have it around.
Yeah,
David got it from. We stayed at this like dumpy motel in the middle of nowhere on a vacation, and they had cats running around, and he pet the cats, and then he got ringworm.
I got it from just gross football locker room, and then I got it the other time. Oh, I don't think I got ringworm, but I got something from sleeping at that hostel in Las Vegas.
Sure,
I got some kind of something because those sheets.
Ugh.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, if you stayed there, you could stay at this place we stayed, the Greenwood
Dude,
Suites.
I stayed at the Chungking Mansions in Hong Kong, which is probably the worst hostel you could ever stay at. They made a movie about it. It's called Chungking Express. Like, and it's
really?
Wong Kar-wai made a movie. But when I called Curtis and told us we were staying, he's like, "You cannot stay there," because I just saw it in the book, and it was like it's cheap, and we got there, and it wasn't horrible. I mean, it's pretty horrible, but it wasn't like, I don't know. It's traveling. We're in Hong Kong. Like, I'm like, whatever. It's got a bed. I don't care.
Ugh, I can't even.
We might have died there,
but I can't even. I don't even.
The bathroom was horrible because it was like a shared situation.
Ugh.
I had luckily brought like flip flops, so I showered in flip flops because otherwise I probably would have gotten like 8 million diseases.
This is bad. I'm just thinking of the hair that I saw on the towel, and then thinking about pit toilets.
It was like the toilet situation. They had Western toilets because of Hong Kong,
but shared toilets.
It was fine.
Oh,
I only stayed there one night, and then we got to go to Curtis's house because he was like, "Get the heck out of there!" And there was all kinds of shady because it's like this huge giant like skyscraper building, but like so there's like all these weird shady businesses like and there's no elevator, like so you're like walking up steps, and I remember carrying my giant bag up and down those stairs and just seeing all kinds of like I'm pretty sure we witnessed like 8 different crimes happening at any given junction. There's all these shady, it's like the shady, like all the tour guides, it's all the like exchange places that the tour guides tell you don't exchange your money at these places. Like, it's super shady.
Ugh. This segment has literally made me like physically sick to my stomach just thinking about all this stuff.
I stayed there, so I can pretty much stay. I stayed at that. Okay, I think I've told you this story. Okay, you know when you're driving on Sunset Boulevard, like right after the Denny's, there's that motel right there. That's like, I stayed in that motel, and it was literally like big. I took the dresser and blocked the door with it. I was so terrified because like people were like, somebody just randomly pounded on my door. There was all kinds of, and it was expensive.
Oh,
it's like $60.
Not I.
But I was like,
turned
there was
around.
nowhere to stay, and I didn't want to drive all because I was gonna stay. I was gonna be right back there, and I was so tired because they'd like been playing poker till like super late or something. I don't know. I'd been out really late. It wasn't because I needed to stay because the poker was the next day, and then I was staying at a better hotel after the poker game, and yeah, I don't know why I was up there and like, but I was terrified.
Man.
Because I'm pretty sure somebody got like shanked right outside. Something happened right outside my room, and it was like big. It was like
I'm not doing blind 3 stars
So,
in
yeah.
Anaheim area anymore.
Next time you drive by that motel, just remember I stayed there.
Ugh. All right,
Lizard.
We talked about the
lizard.
You over there still? I'm gonna peek.
No, because then you're gonna know.
Nope, not there.
So I finished reading Hardcore Gaming 101 presents book Castlevania.
Really
There's
awesome.
a lot of
stuff.
Castlevania games.
Yeah,
And it's pretty crazy.
good book.
Good book. I highly recommend it if you like Castlevania or like reading about video games. I'm still chipping away at The Rest Is Noise, listening to 20th Century. I am 90% done at Go Set a Watchman. Right now, it's very upsetting.
Yeah. I mean, is it well written thus
Oh,
far?
yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing. I mean, it's Harper Lee. Like, she's legit. This further legitimizes her as, like, a great, but it's upsetting.
Is there question as to how much of it she actually wrote, or is
No.
it known that she actually
wrote this?
Okay.
It's absolutely the same person that wrote To Kill a Mockingbird wrote this book. It's amazing. It's great. It's just some of the subject matter and things that happen. Like, it's even more about racism in that time period in the South. But it's very some of like I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's upsetting.
Okay. So you haven't decided if you like it yet or not.
I have to finish it.
See where it goes.
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
It's very upsetting.
All right.
And then I'm also continuing on all the stuff from that story bundle, the video game one. There was a set of 3 books, actually 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, 4 books about the history of Dungeons and Dragons and about role-playing games. So I'm reading one of the 70s, and man, for a while there, like the guy like Gary Gygax and TSR, like they made a fortune.
Yeah.
And then they got greedy. And then their like company almost collapsed in the 80s, and just reading all this crazy history and all the little fighting. And then they got lawsuit happy and just sued anybody. They built a lot of ill will in the role-playing industry because they just started suing anybody that used the name Dungeons and Dragons, and like they bought out this wargaming company just to put them out of business. So like the wargaming community, that's why they don't like role-playing, because like they basically took one of the best wargaming companies and basically just sunk the company.
Wow.
Just because they just became this crazy business. Like, and just some of the other, and just reading the history of how it all happened, and just makes me want to play Dungeons and Dragons, and it's pretty cool. And then also like the effects, like that whole panic thing actually is what really kicked their business into gear. Their business like quintupled that year that the whole like that was the inspiration for that whole thing where the guy went in the steam tunnels and like all that stuff that Tom Hanks movie is based off of. And that none of that stuff actually happened, but they presented it as fact, like in the book, and then they made the movie. But that sold. That's like why D&D made it, was because of that.
If people, Christians do it the most, but other groups could learn one thing from all this, is that the more you
Barbra
make a
Streisand
stink,
effect.
the more you make a stink.
Streisand effect.
The Streisand
That's
effect.
like the name of it now. But
yeah, the more stink you make, the more attention it gets.
Yeah,
that's just every movie they protest. That's exactly.
That's
what
why
they want.
I always say, like, the best thing to do is just don't acknowledge it. Like, if you want something, just
ignore it.
And I'm also, for me, I feel that's how I feel about like Westboro Baptist and all those people. Like, you give them attention, it just increases.
We can just ignore them, and
but
not
people
give them,
can't, and it drives me crazy.
Every time someone engages with them on any level,
anytime you link to them, anytime you talk about them, you're doing exactly what they want you to do.
Yeah,
and like it's the same kind of thing.
But it's hard. It's hard to just ignore it. But yes, and I'm not saying that people should have done that to Dungeons and Dragons. I'm just saying. The logic
if they had wanted
on the other side, if they wanted to, that's how they could have ignored it. It might have just gone away.
It might have, but because that was their real turn in business. There were like a few years where they were starting to turn a profit, but it was really like touch and go, and like they all almost like folded. They lost one of the major business partners died, and then like the guys that took it over like did a really bad job of managing it. And they like basically ousted Gary Gygax and like who like created like, and the other co-creator, because it's like a real Eastman and Laird type situation where like they like ended up hating each other and like, but they would have periods where they got along, which still happens with Eastman and Laird. And like the same thing happened with Gygax, and now I forget the other guy's name, but it starts with an A. And but they like would just various times they weren't talking to each other, and like because their feud almost brought the company down. Like this like and that's why I'm worried. Like, what if we get huge and then we become that? Like, we won't talk to each other anymore.
We've had epic fights.
Yeah, but not when we're like huge, successful business people.
Well, I mean, right now we're huge,
and there's real stakes.
Nah,
it's like even in Ready Player One, like those dudes, like
I know,
just that's the classic story. Ben and Jerry seem to be doing okay.
Yeah, they're good.
They're good. Every time I see interviews with them,
sure. Hall and Oates,
no.
No,
I
don't know. I shouldn't.
Come on,
I shouldn't go down.
Every band is like no. Simon and Garfunkel,
well,
Hall and Oates.
Really, Hall and Oates?
They've done like let's get back together and make, but those dudes hate each other.
I didn't know.
I mean, they've gone through periods.
Okay. Well, it won't happen.
Oasis, they're also brothers. If I had a band with my brother, that would definitely happen. I could see. I don't even doubt that. Like, I feel like anybody that's a brother, like that's the most plausible of all. Like, yeah.
We got David, my brother, was in the band in high school with me. We got in fights about it, mostly because I
start punching each other on stage.
No, nothing like that. But like
Gallagher style.
I don't know. I don't even remember. But I know, like there was fighting amongst others. It was more like I didn't defend him enough when other, like the other band members were picking on him, and I didn't like.
I can see that.
Like that, because his brother kind of things like that. So yeah. I often got in trouble for that.
I don't know.
Anyway,
we'll just have to find out what happens.
When we get huge and successful, we'll see. But I think we're okay.
Oh, Creasy and Vecchio. Yeah, they don't talk. You can't book them at the same convention.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going if that Creasy's going to be
there. Because I just remember, like, we had to go, like, I remember there was a convention where I was helping Adam get, like, he wanted, because Eastman and Laird, it was one of the few times that Eastman and Laird were both there, except they were on, like, opposite ends. And, like, Eastman is, like, cool, but, like, I remember he was cool about, but Laird, like, he's like, oh, he was such an angry dude. I was like, dude, first of all, you're a gojillionaire, like, because of this thing you made with your friend. And, like, isn't that enough to, like, but I guess, like, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Like, and I had Eastman on, when we had Eastman on the show, like, it was definitely a touchy subject. And I don't know what, but like that's crazy that like you and your friend create this thing, and seriously, they made, like, I'm talking, they are like 100 millionaires, like, because like again, I know I've told this before, but like Eastman just casually was like, yeah, I had this company, I lost like $90 million, and he just print that. I'm like, if he could lose $90 million and not every time he thinks about it start crying, you're freaking rich.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's how rich. But when you think about, they owned everything. They completely controlled that property. So if you think about that there was no middleman, there was it was all them. They got everything. They got like 100% of the merchandising and all that stuff.
Spent plenty on that merchandising
and like the movies and the cartoon. So yeah, that makes me think like,
the Turtles snacks alone, I think I bought his like Ferrari or whatever he drives.
Oh, so I want those cream pies and now I'm thinking about Ninja Turtle, and I'm thinking about those little, dude, that was like 1990. I feel like it was 1990. I remember because I used to get the Ninja Turtle. This is why I'm fat, because I would go to Vaughn's with my friend Sean. Just like on our own, and I'd have like a couple bucks that I'd scrounge together for whatever, or Sean probably gave money because he was one of those kids that just always had money,
right?
Like, you always had that kid, and sometimes they'd share and sometimes they wouldn't, but most of the time he was nice enough. If he was really mad at his parents, he's like, I'm gonna spend this money. And so we get the Ninja Turtle pies, because like those things, oh my gosh, the ooze custard, the green custard. And then there was the Nintendo sodas. You remember those little half sodas? There was Yoshi Green Apple, that Yoshi green apple soda. I think that's why I'm obsessed with green apple
Just 'cause
soda.
of that.
Because I'm trying to recreate the Yoshi green apple soda, and I would get that soda, which was probably all sugar and a turtle pie, and usually multiples. So I remember Sean and I would split a six because it would come in the little 6-packs, and we would split a 6-packs of that Mario soda outside the Vons, and at least the turtle pie, and maybe if we could find if they had them the pizza snacks.
Oh, those pizza snacks! You can taste them right now.
And that's what we ate all the time.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason.
And then I remember there was the snack shop at Boys and Girls Club, and I'm not even joking. They created an item limit rule. Like you could only order 3 things because of me and Sean. Because if you had $3, because they had 50-cent burritos, microwave burritos. They had 50-cent pretzels. They had 25 cents Star Crunch and Little Debbie's, 10-cent Jolly Rancher sticks.
Oh my god!
And candy and if I had $1, I'm give me a burrito and 2 of these and 1 of these. So they ended up saying and they would keep track. You couldn't have 3 things per day, and that was the Brendan and Sean rule.
Brendan rule.
And I'm not even joking.
We're cutting you off, Brendan.
But then,
No more
this
sticks.
is bad.
Okay.
Because you want to hear what then happened?
You pay other kids. To
No,
do it?
well, I did do that. I totally did that. I
Nice.
would.
There's a Jolly Rancher stick.
Yeah,
for
I'm
you.
if you buy me a burrito, I'll buy you a Star Crunch, just stuff like that. Because 3 items a day. Because we would be there. There would be during the summer and vacation. We are there from opening till close. So that's lunch and a little bleeding into dinner. So that you got to stretch out your 3 items. So that's where I'd grab some little kid and be like, "Hey, little kid, hey, little 6-year-old kid doesn't know any better. I'll give you a quarter if you buy me a burrito, and you can use that quarter to play video games or buy your own candy."
2 Jolly Rancher sticks.
But then the ice cream man started coming. Ice cream man doesn't have an item limit, and this was again back in the days where it was 25-cent big sticks.
Right.
And he had his Choco Tacos and all that stuff. So we do our 3-item limit.
Choco Taco.
So we'd do our 3-item limit, and then we go to town on the ice cream man, and he didn't care. He didn't have that because I can't imagine. Here's what I'd love. Here's what I love this scenario. The Boys and Girls Club staff meeting. You're man, Brendan just won't stop eating all the burritos. We have to keep going to Smart and Final. I don't want to go to Smart and Final again. Make Dave do it. Oh, I got an idea. We'll have 3 items a day. How are we going to keep track of that? Well, we'll just write down each kid and what they order. We got to do that. And I'm we got to do something because these kids.
He's eating all the burritos.
He's eating everything. And don't you feel responsible? Look at that kid. Don't you feel bad for that kid? Fine, Dave. Fine. 3-item limit for everybody. For everybody. And Dave, it's your turn to go to Smart and Final and get extra burritos. What about the ice cream man? Oh, what are we gonna do? We can't tell the ice cream man what to do.
Then so did they notice all these little kids coming up and ordering burritos that were never you don't need this burrito. What are you eating this burrito?
I don't think they ever caught on to that. I was very.
You had your whole
very
back
slick.
room racket going.
Yeah.
Got kickbacks on burrito.
Because we did do stuff like that, and then I remember because then I became a junior staff and I got a discount.
Oh god.
And then I could also as a junior
Did they up
staff.
your limit there?
Well, I could overwrite because sometimes I was
You're
selling.
keeping track?
Well, sometimes I was a dude selling the stuff.
Burrito for me, burrito for the
Pretty
kid.
much.
Burrito for me, burrito for the kid.
Pretty much. I'd throw in an extra while I'm cooking.
Yeah.
And what? Yeah, I paid for this. Yeah. I wrote it down,
Yeah.
keeping track.
It's on my tab.
Yeah.
Burrito tab.
Oh man, Boys and Girls Club. Because then I remember when the guy came, the best day of the. I think that's another one of my slogans. I've told this story before. I don't know if I have though. Boys and Girls Club. Once a month, the guy would come to get the quarters out of the video games, and he wouldn't put them on free play because then he would have to. When would he come take it off free play? Because he only come once a month. What he would do is while he was taking the quarters out, he would run 200 quarters through each machine. So he'd give it
credits.
so it would be super credits day. And and we got to know the schedule because sometimes he'd come on a Tuesday, sometimes he'd come in the middle of the day. And the best days where there'd be some weird days where some schools would have off and other days weren't. And if that dude came like in the morning on a day where our school was off and the other schools weren't, so there was only like 10 kids there, those days were just crazy town, because it was like there was enough machines where we could all have our own machine. And I remember one time somehow the prize machine was either like, because we had like the machines didn't get switched out that much, like maybe 3 times a year they would switch out the machines. So for a while I remember there was a period where we had Goonies, we had a pinball, we had I think we had Spy Hunter pinball, we had Goonies, we had Bubble Bobble. Nice. And we had Paperboy, and I sucked at Paperboy, but like that was always a high value one on free credit day. But I was all about the Bubble Bobble on free credit day because we would beat the game on free credit day.
You just keep going,
and you just keep going and going and going and going. And my brother and I, like, oh my gosh,
this reminds me of course, is the greatest night at Biola, or one of our greatest nights ever.
Oh, dude, Bust a Move night, where I'm like the Bust a Move is like, bro, I don't know what was going on with that.
It was just set to free play.
I think somebody figured out how to set it to free play.
And we came down there because for whatever reason they had one arcade cabinet in the downstairs.
Yeah,
it wasn't there much longer.
There was that, and it was because
by the ATM.
By the ATM that gave $5 bills, which was like so genius.
Right.
Because if you only had $5 in your account or $10, you could get that $5.
But one night we went down there,
and I'm like, Phil,
Bust the Moves.
We were there till they closed.
And we got other people came, and
it was like a party in the sub.
Just kept going and going. We played so much.
We played until they kicked us out.
Yeah,
because the sub closed at like 1 or something.
Yeah,
but we played free Bust the Move.
Night.
2-player rocking it. That was awesome. And it never happened again.
Nope. And then they got rid of it. I mean, I don't think they had it.
Well, I think after a while, it didn't break.
Probably.
Because,
man, I want an arcade cabinet so bad.
I know Nick Murphy. He got. So this is a really quick story. So Nick Murphy did the thing like your brother, where he found an old one. Like I think he got on Craigslist. He didn't know what it was, and he just bought it. It didn't have a working game in it. He bought it so he could turn it into a Megan cabinet. But he took it to a place where they like restore them. And the guy's like, "You might want to come over here and check this out," because it was just painted. But I guess he stripped the paint off, and underneath it was like a fully intact Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet with all the crazy like photographic artwork on the sides, like in perfect condition. So now he's got this awesome looking like with all the the like Raiden on the side, and like because it was just like somebody just painted it over with like cheap, where he just like washed, he just like took a sponge, like it all came off.
That's funny.
And it was like this awesome, and then he put a whole main machine in it, and dude, that look, he's got guns, he's got the guns and like the 2 double sticks and like everything. And it's gonna be sweet.
I tell you about when we went at the sports bar place here in town. Used to be the Big Cheese. That's like we played the Centipede and the Millipede there.
Yeah,
they have a cabinet. Oh my gosh, because that was my game.
Did you cry?
Yeah, it was. I was a little teary-eyed because I remember with my dad, and I would like stand up on his feet so I could reach the thing, and he'd let me hold the fire button, and then he'd steer with the thing. And if like when I got older, I got to start steering too. But like. That was like our game, and I loved it because you can just hold it down so you feel like you're part of it, and you're like right there. And for whatever reason, I love that game, and you can't get that experience anywhere else. And so doing it with my kids and having them there, and I was just like, that was
always like you got your quarters worth if you were remotely good.
Yeah, you can make that game last a long time.
And there was easy to get, depending on how if you had a machine that had a low high score, like a low extra life setting. Yeah. Because some places you could rack up those extra lives like crazy.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Pac-Man. Depending on how they had their extra life settings, you could always that's how you knew a good, like if they had the extra life set pretty low. And then I remember, I don't know what happened. I just remember one time we figured out how to mess with dip switches on games. Like we started messing with stuff at Boys and Girls Club, and then we all got in trouble because like we almost figured out how to put it on free play. Like because. First, we figured out how to open the cabinet. Like, this is how hoodlum we got. We'd, like, make sure there was no staff around. We'd open it. But, like, to put it on free play, like, because we were just doing trial and error, and I'm like, and we got it to where we could add credits, and I'm like, you guys, I don't think we should be
Playing
doing
with fire
this.
here.
And then we were like, I think we can figure out, because these are literally like little switches on the switchboard. And we're like, we ended up breaking one, and that was the end, because somebody narked. Because their strategy is because again, like it was all the stuff that went down usually went down during the day, because day cost more, but like, so it was like for the super latchkey kids,
Right.
like on a break or something, they'd have like, you'd be there during the day, and so it always cost more. So there was only like there would usually be like 10 of us during the day. So what they would do if something happened, like if something broke or if somebody left out something or if somebody did something bad, they would just put the whole place on lockdown. Like, you're not doing anything until somebody, like, they would do that, and it would 9 times out of 10 it would work, because like they would just be like, no games, nothing until somebody fesses up. And so sure enough, we broke the arcade. Like, they're like, who broke Super Mario Brothers? And they just get us all in, like, because they had like, there was this dance studio that we would use just to mess around in, but they push us all into the studio where there's nothing in there. And so they're like, you're just staying in here and we're not doing anything until somebody, and I think like 35 minutes into that, somebody narked. Like, it was those guys. And we're just like, and yeah, we got in trouble. We lost our video game for like a week.
What did you think was how are you gonna get out of that?
I thought some event, like there would be 1 out of 10 times where we just sit there and it was like, I'll get on stand up. And depending on who the counselor, whoever was working that day, because these dudes were probably college kids.
Right.
They always seem so much older in my like kid mind, but knowing now, like they were probably college kids. So eventually, depending on who it was, they would cave, be like, fine. But you're all like, But most of the time, especially there was like a couple dudes, like they would just sweat us out. And like, I don't know, I thought maybe we can make it, because sometimes we did. When somebody broke a window, I don't know what, I think we all dummied up, and they never figured out who did it.
So Designers and Dragons, the 70s is good then? That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
It's a good book, huh?
What are we doing, dude? It's midnight. All right, go.
I'll go very fast here. I finished the Peanut Butter Poltergeist.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Did it have a satisfying? Was it a ghost?
Should I say? I guess.
Yes.
Do I want to spoil it? Though?
Do
what
it.
If our readers are out there
just
looking it up right
freaking
now?
do it, Phil.
Well, I'll tell you what it was. They did it was a Scooby-Doo ending.
Yeah.
That was actually because it's like a brother and a stepsister, and he was like playing pranks on her, but then the ghost was real, but then it turned out it was her playing pranks back on him because she figured out that he was doing the pranks. But then at the end, there's a little stinger, and there's like a ghost that floats in, and there really was a ghost all along.
That was an episode. Okay, that was on a Halloween episode of Martin where there was ghosts, and everybody thought it was just people play, because it was like, I play pranks all the
Right.
night. And then the way they ended the episode was then a real ghost like came out of the wall, and I'm not even joking. For 12-year-old Brendo, just that like end joke, it was just because it was legitimately like this ghost going, like, rah! Like that scared the crap out of me.
Well, that was it. So, like, because he had lost his hat at the bottom of the lake, and a ghost like brought the hat back to him. So it really was a ghost. A Peanut Butter Poltergeist. I finished Eliminate Crime, which is the second one.
So good.
Really, really good. That's the one where they do the mock trial, basically.
Yeah.
And if people are reading along, I guess I don't want to spoil it, but it's like intense, and it's really good.
Man.
It's a good like lawsuit. I mean, they like operate this whole thing, and there's like, they have these moments of like, what is the truth, and wait,
and then like
than this, and,
I don't know. There was sometimes that stuff got real, like really real, like the bullying stuff and just some of the other stuff. Like, man, like it kind of almost brought back like flashbacks. Like, and then the next one, the next one is super intense.
Well, I have that's like on the queue here. I'm about to start it. We also finished reading the second Wayside School book with the kids. Wayside School's falling down. They are obsessed with it. I read one of them tonight from actually the next book, which I don't have on here. But that's one I've been reading is Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger. Is the third one.
Did we read that one?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It's the third one.
I remember that's what it's called.
Yeah. It's
I've already forgotten.
It's been quite a while. But anyway, so that's been fun. They absolutely love that. And then the other thing that I'm reading right now is the Will to Whatevs, A Guide to Modern Life by Eugene Merman. And
Did you watch his Netflix special?
I haven't watched the Netflix special yet, no. But the book is good. It's very, like, if you know what he sounds like,
Yeah.
if you can read it and imagine him saying it, I think it makes it a lot more entertaining. Because it's written very, like, disjointed. But if you can imagine him saying it, it makes sense.
Which that's kind of his style.
Which it is. So it's like reading him talking.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Which is also Gene Belcher.
Which exactly. Yeah. You just think of Gene, and then basically you've got the show.
Yeah.
Or you got the book. But it's funny. I think because it's written in that style, because this is like a real published book. There's like a ton of typos, but I think like an editor's just like, I don't even know what's going on here. Like, is that a typo? Is that supposed to be like that? I don't know. So anyway, it's kind of been funny to see, but it's entertaining. It's goofy.
Cool.
It's written like a self-help book, but it's all silly.
Nice.
So that's what I've been reading. So if you guys want to read with us, join our book club. Click on the book club link at the top of RadioBrendo.com.
I really got to crank it up here.
All
New
right.
movies. I didn't watch anything. You watched a new movie.
Well, yeah, for my mom's birthday, the family, we all went to a walk in the woods.
Stop playing with a chair.
Why is this? I don't know why I'm so fidgety with tonight with that chair.
Tim and Eric.
Coming on the show. Coming on the show.
No, but I gotta post that
That's
video.
really good. We watched a walk in the woods with my mom for her birthday. That's the one she picked, even though it's about like hiking and backpacking. My dad,
But it's a Bill Bryson book, and the book is amazing. Gringo Brian actually gave it to me. I think for my college graduation, and I read it, and it's amazing.
Really good. It's Robert Redford and Nick Nolte, and they go on the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah.
It's really good. I would recommend it.
And it's about their journey and then all the people, because they encounter quite a few characters.
And Kristen Shaw is one of those, and she is hilarious. It's worth it just
amazing
for her
and everything.
alone.
I cannot wait for Bob's Burgers and Last Man on Earth.
Both, Kristen Shaw all over the place.
She's the best.
So there's that. And the kids went and played in the play area, and Aurora came, and so they all, it was just the three of them the whole time. All right. Go fast.
DVD on demand corner. I'm watching WWE Network. It's all working now, and I'm watching lots of stuff, and it's great, and I love it so much. It's the best $10. And $9.99. And then New Japan World, they're doing more shows again. They're back on tour, but it's way less. Like they have
keep up
for this coming. So the big show is like next weekend, I think.
Okay.
And they're doing only two. Like they only showed like 2 house shows, and the first one was last weekend, and then the next one's like this weekend. And it's great seeing the New Japan guys, and there's some new American wrestlers.
New Japan guys?
Yeah, there's some new guys, so that's cool. One of them was a wrestler in NXT, and he quit because he just didn't realize he wasn't going anywhere. His name's CJ Parker. Benson and I saw him wrestle a bunch when we were when we were at WrestleMania. So now seeing him in New Japan, that's awesome, and he's doing a good job. So that's cool. And then like just seeing all the New Japan is awesome. And that's New Japan World, and you got stuff. And
Last Comic Standing finale happened this week.
He said it was horrible.
They picked a guy that I did not think was funny at all. They picked a lot of people to go into the finale. It was a short season. Very disappointing. I love Last Comic Standing. I've watched it like since the Jay Moore days, and this was like by far the weakest season. However, Norm Macdonald was funny. There were some really funny people on it. I just felt like the judges put through the worst. So hopefully they'll make it better next time. And then I think partly I had in the back of my mind, because I watched A Walk in the Woods and Nick Nolte was in it, for whatever reason, I was flipping around. I think I watched it on Amazon Prime. I watched 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy's movie debut, basically. And
you were shocked.
It was funny, but man, it was very like, it was, some of this, it's like the rough cop, and then Eddie Murphy's like the con, and he has to pull out to work with him. And I get that he's a rough, tough dude. He's the bad cop kind of guy, but the racism that like just spews out of him, and they played it like, oh, we're going to attack racism, because at some point during the movie, and he's been saying these horrible, horrible things. I'm not going to repeat them because I don't want to be like soundbited, like in the wrong sound bitten.
Yeah.
I don't want people to clip out what I say and use it against me, but man, like he just spews this stuff out, and then at some point, like
things that you had forgotten were like
minstrel show type stuff, like just bad. And so then at one point they're like at a bar, and they're getting along now, and they're finally becoming the buddies of the buddy type show, and at one point, Eddie Murphy's or Nick Nolte says to Eddie Murphy, like, oh, I didn't mean all that stuff. And he says some of the things that he's been calling him. He's like, it's just my job as the cop to keep you down. And Eddie Murphy's like, oh, it's okay, man. I know you're just doing your job, stuff like that.
That's awful.
He basically like forgives him. It's okay that you're saying all these horrible things. We're friends now, so I forgive you for saying all those things. It was really weird and awkward to watch. Like what is? I mean, aside from that, the movie's a good 80s cop movie, whatever. But man, that was just a weird thing. Like kind of, it was hard to enjoy because of that. So interesting.
Yeah.
Not that anyone's rushing out to see 48 Hours right now, but keep that in mind.
I've been watching a ton of It's Always Sunny. I'm like almost caught up.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Is it still on?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in like season 12 or
it's been
something
going a long
crazy.
time.
Well, I'm almost done with that. I'm on like season 9 now.
Huh.
It's really funny.
Still good?
It's so funny.
Is Danny DeVito still on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just the moment you think he can't be like, I mean, it got to the point where there was like this episode. The moment you think like, okay, they've done that's like the most heinous thing they've done. Then they have an episode where for some reason Danny DeVito is naked, oiled up, hiding in a couch. And then they just like wherever he's hiding, they discover him and he just goes running off like naked. You see his butt and everything. Like it's disgusting. And like I'm like, okay, like obviously they haven't, like they're still finding new ways to like just these horribly depraved people doing horrible things and not learning any lessons, and
it's funny.
It's really funny. It's so funny.
It's always funny.
And I was like, I'm gonna start reading some more. So I found out that Rob McElhenney and then the the lady on the show, she's the lady.
Okay.
They're married and they have kids.
You found that out by reading about
Yes.
it? Okay. That's cool.
I thought that was neat.
They get to work together.
Yeah. And they met on the show.
Oh.
And they got married. And then they have kids. And that's how long the show's been on. Is during the course of the show, they met, they got married, and they had 2 kids.
Wow.
All in
And
the
it's
course
still
of the
going.
show, yes.
All right. Well, I'm caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it's amazing, and I'm stoked for the new season to start. So I won't say much more than that, but
It's awesome.
great.
We geeked out about it.
Super,
like
yeah.
the whole ride
Yeah,
home from Long Beach.
We've been on about it a long time, but it's great. Love it. We've been watching this series actually with the kids called Brain Games.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? It's hosted by Neil
but I know
Patrick
you
Harris.
talked about it.
Okay, it's great. Matthew, actually, my brother introduced me to it, and it's like each one focuses, like the first one is about optical illusions. There's one about like magic. There's one about like memory and stuff, and it just focuses on the way our brain interprets different things. It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
The kids love it because Luke loves optical illusions and stuff. But today, the one we watched it while we're eating dinner. It was all about memory, and it tests they reenacted this crime, or they actually they did it in real life. They had this person get mugged, and they did it while this group of people was watching the show. And then they do this whole follow-up where they interview the people and ask them what did you see? And it talks about how reliable are witnesses. I mean, it's really fascinating.
And that they're not at all.
They're not at all. They plant someone in there to say fake stuff, and they actually convince the other people there that the things they're saying were real, even though they totally weren't. But the crazy part is Audrey is almost like a savant. She's no, this was what happened. She remembered every single detail of it.
Of course, Audrey has a photographic memory.
And Janelle and I are guessing, because the show's real interactive. It's what do you think? What color was she wearing? And we're oh, it's red, blue. And Audrey's no, it's gray. And we're no, I don't think so. Sure enough, the lady, we saw a glimpse of this lady walking by 20 minutes earlier in the show, and she remembered that she was wearing a gray jacket. Insane. Just all these things. They did these number memorization things where they flashed up cards, decks of cards, and you had to remember. And she would get like 6 or 7 in a row, or Janelle and I got 2 or 3 of them. Unbelievable. So I don't know.
You have a genius kid.
Her brain is on a different level, I'm telling you. So anyway, and
she is reading it we don't even know what
I
level.
don't know. She just
past
anything.
6th grade.
Yeah.
She's reading chapter books.
She
just finished kindergarten. She starts 1st grade. I was just starting to read.
Yeah. I mean, she can read anything now.
It's freaking nuts.
But she's reading.
I
these
wasn't
chapter
at that
books,
point until like 2nd or 3rd grade.
and it's full. Like she's comprehending it.
Yeah.
She'll
Oh,
tell
yeah,
you.
she'll
the
tell
plot.
me all about
She'll
everything.
tell you everything. It's not like she's just word calling. It's incredible.
And Luke's like sight reading.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, he's right behind her. So
And Luke's 4.
he's 4.
It's freaking nuts. The kids are amazing.
Kind of cool. I like them.
They're gonna be the ones that do all the stuff.
I know.
You're gonna live off of
Well,
them.
I'm telling you, like watching them.
We're gonna be marketing them. I'm gonna be your
watching
as
them
the
do, like,
Godfather. I claim 10%.
well, watching them do Mario Maker, and I mean, it's a testament to how well it's done, obviously. But like watching their creative minds and like solving puzzles. Of, okay, I have to put this here in order for him to be able to get there. And Audrey's like, this is great because then when we get older and we want to design our games, we can go back and look at what we designed now and improve on our designs. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay, yeah, like I guess so. And I was just like goofing around, and they're like, they've got this whole like plan for it. I don't know, it's amazing. Last thing, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, is Comedy Bang Bang season 4 is up on Netflix.
It was funny because I wasn't checking my email, but like we were somewhere and you guys all
it was at
filled
PF
it up.
Chang's.
Oh,
It was at PF Chang's. You guys were talking, and like something popped up in my email, and I looked at them. Oh, Comedy Bang
because
Bang.
Netflix. If you got that, we got that email because Netflix knows we watch
Yeah.
that like all the time.
Yeah, it says, Phil, I know this is for you. And so, like I said, I went home last night and I was like, oh, I gotta go to bed. I'm just gonna
There's
like
only
watch
12
one.
episodes.
There's like 12 episodes. Maybe there might even only be 10 or 12. Anyway, I think I watched 5 of them.
Because this
last
was the
night.
one that was the short season, and then they went into a super crazy long season.
Well,
Which is the next
it's amazing. It's super good. I can't wait for you to watch it. I'm done. I think we should read Marmaduke and call it.
Yeah, we do have to say rest in peace. What's his name?
Oh, yes. Well, that's right. Someone pointed this out in our group this week. Brad Anderson, I'm assuming, because that's who wrote the book here.
He died.
Brad Anderson, author of Marmaduke, died.
He's like 95.
Yeah. So
And Marmaduke is terrible.
So, yeah, someone on Facebook was like, oh, you guys going to be nice about Marmaduke this week. But I think he knows. He knew in his heart of hearts, right?
He died on a giant pile of money. He's fine. He could listen.
He's got
He's
Marmaduke
like,
money.
screw you guys. Yeah, my script sucks. I'm rich.
Yeah.
That dog made me a fortune.
Yep.
I sleep on a pile of money with lots of beautiful ladies.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he would have said. So we're still reading Marmaduke in honor of Brad Anderson.
In honor of the guy whose name we've already had to look at.
I forgot again. Once again, my memory does not work like Audrey's memory.
I have a weird memory, but it's like weird. It's nothing useful, but like I remember like conversations and things that I'm one of those guys. I can be like, we did this at this time and went here and remember this. I'm the one that's like, remember when we did this and this, and everybody's like, no, I don't remember that, but I remember.
Well, then also you're like, you can pull out like this dude was in that show that was connected to this. Like you're like pop culture.
Yeah, all
like,
that
neurons.
stuff. Yeah, and wrestlers and
like
and
if you could like
episodes.
tap into a financial stream for that, then you'd be
Yeah.
golden.
It's called Internet Movie Database. So
Can
they
you just
don't
be
need
that?
Yeah,
Like-
because that's a thing that people need.
And then here I am. I had to look twice to remember Brad Anderson's name. While
The
holding
thing
book.
that I think I get in trouble is then I don't realize that most people don't know who all that stuff is. So then when I'm like, yeah, it's this, of course, and then people get mad.
I have to admit, like probably like I don't know, a third of the time on the show, and my brain is like, okay, I know who he's talking about. I got to remember who it is. You know, I think I play along pretty well.
That's why one time I remember, I will never forget. This is where like parents need to really think about what the things they say to their kids.
Okay.
And this happened when I was in college. So like I was an adult,
Okay.
but it still is like one of the most horrible things my mom's ever said to me was we were sitting there and I think I was watching something and like she was asking me about it and I just started rattling off. I think I was watching Freaks and Geeks.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, this is this, and then these guys are in this now and that thing. And she's like, your interests don't match anybody else's. Like you are into things that nobody else. She's like, you're into weird stuff. And I'm just like, thanks. Like, she's like, you're never gonna meet it. This is like she basically is like, you're never gonna meet anybody.
Oh
because
my
you have interests that don't appeal to any. I think she said like I think it was like your interests appeal to no one, and I'm just like holy crap.
Thanks, Mom.
I think she was just so sick of me just like being like.
Do you want to know something super crazy about Freaks and Geeks? Do you know like where I was introduced to Freaks and Geeks from?
Mm-mm.
Janelle told me
Yeah,
about Freaks
well,
and Geeks.
I thought that. I knew
But do
that.
you know who told Janelle about Freaks and Geeks?
Matt Moss.
No.
Was it Matt Moss?
No, Janelle told Matt Moss about Freaks
Oh,
and
okay.
Geeks. You know who told Janelle about Freaks and Geeks?
Who?
Her grandma.
What?
Her grandma like calls her up one day and is like, Janelle, I watched the show and it's about these cute geeks and these little cute freaks and I think you'd like it. And she's like, Grandma, I'm gonna watch the dumb show you told me about. But then she watched it and then she's like, oh my gosh, you guys, and then she spread the word. Janelle's grandma. Does that change things?
See, I watched the first one with like Nick Askew.
All right, so there's other sources there. She's the one that told her about that, and Janelle told me.
And then I didn't watch, because then I think I was in the process of like moving or whatever, and
Well, it was practically impossible to catch it in its original
well then
run.
no, I wasn't. I was living in the palatial state, and like I don't know, I was living in it was a weird time. So I watched a couple, and then when I came back, and that's when Janelle was living in that apartment with Emily
and Sonny.
and she had and then they had started airing on Fox Family.
Then yeah.
And she because that was in the spring,
Right.
and they were already canceled.
Yeah.
But
we were taping
and they
them
were
left and right.
and they were also but then they aired because remember they burned them off on Fox Family.
Yeah. But they still never aired Kim Kelly.
I watched it because that was later in the year because I was in Wisconsin when they were airing those because then they re-aired the whole series and that was in fall of 2000.
Yeah.
Because I remember fall 2000 they re-aired them after it had already been canceled. And then they aired Kim Kelly as My Friend for the first time. And I remember making sure watching that live. Like, I'm like, they're finally, because I've been reading about it, because, like, entertainment, like, everything had already happened. And I remember buying Entertainment Week, I remember I got somebody to send me the big LA Weekly with, like, Freaks and Geeks on the cover.
Yeah.
Because I was living in Wisconsin at the time. But then watching the reruns on Fox. But I remember watching quite a few first runs, and then watching the whole thing when that Fox Family, that first run.
But the last episode was never aired, is that right?
No, it wasn't. It was.
It was.
They just filmed it out of order.
But we never saw the last one until we got the DVDs, though.
You didn't?
I don't think so.
That's weird, because they showed the whole series multiple times on Fox Family.
Maybe. I feel like we didn't, though. I feel like we had not seen the last episode.
Because I watched the whole run at least twice before it came out on DVD.
Anyway, let's read Marmaduke.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Steve Espinosa's in the chat. What's up?
He's talking about
Freaks and Geeks.
Well, he's also saying on how many stars were on Comedy Bang Bang. Lots.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe so
I
many
think
stars
it's so
in
at
Freaks and
IFC.
Geeks, yeah.
Not because I was thinking
Well, there's stars on all of them. And they're great. And I'm going to read Marmaduke now. You ready?
I'm tired.
Here we go. It's a good one tonight.
Yeah.
All right, it's the dad in this one.
Okay.
Again, we don't know any of the human characters' names.
I am going to guess right now it's Marmaduke is hungry.
All right, here we go. He's watching TV, and so from the TV, the sound comes out, Doggy Munchies!
Yep.
And the dad says, can't stand these dumb commercials. And the TV says, ooh la la, Doggy Munchies, they are divine, darling. And Marmaduke's watching it now. He's very
Is
excited.
that like a Zsa Zsa Gabor
yeah, it's like a Zsa
ripoff?
Zsa Gabor, I'm pretty sure. It's like a,
That's where his humor, that's his pop culture references, and
Yep.
Marmaduke is Zsa Zsa
it's like
Gabor.
a poodle saying it there.
Steve, you already missed it. We already were nice for a little bit.
Yeah, we did a tribute to
Hey,
Brad Anderson.
what we said was this dude was a gazillionaire. He doesn't care that we say his... This guy made a fortune off of this, and he had to have known that it sucked.
I'm sure. All right, so back to the
He
dog.
lived to
TV.
95, and he was rich.
Now there's another dog. I like the way they crunch. It's a real dog's dog food. Now Marmaduke's like drooling, he's licking his jowls. And the dad says,
Hey, I was right.
ridiculous commercial. Everyone knows dogs can't talk. And now Marmaduke says, oh yeah, that's your opinion, Buster. And the dad freaks out.
What?
And then someone says, the dad says to the mom, Dottie, you're not going to believe this, but then we see behind the kids are reading a book called How to Throw Your Voice. So it started out as a Marmaduke is eating, but then it turned into a Marmaduke is a person. Yep. We got like kind of double.
That was actually sort of clever.
Sort of.
But also stupid.
Oh, hey, you know what? In tribute to Brad Anderson, we'll give you that one. That one's pretty clever there.
Yeah, because there's
Good
the
job.
kids all along. Because at first I'm like, wait, Marmaduke talks.
Yeah, see? It tricked you.
It tricked me. You tricked me.
Good job, Brad Anderson.
Wow.
All right. Good
There you
Marmaduke.
go.
Good Marmaduke this week.
I'm sure next week's gonna suck.
Next week's gonna be horrible.
Don't.
Yep. I just got a preview. It's awful.
Hmm.
But that was a pretty good one. So good job there.
Somebody's replying to some. I know exactly what's happening right now on Facebook because I
What?
got included in some mass
Oh
group
yeah,
thing.
you got tagged.
So now I hear the popping,
Bop,
pop,
bop,
pop, pop, pop.
Bop, 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 bop.
Friends don't let friends send group messages.
Yeah, it's bad.
Don't do that.
Don't do it.
April, I told this story to Janelle, but April Richardson, like last week, okay, so she posted this screenshot of a text, and the story was she's like, met some bozo at Amoeba, and I gave him my phone number, and then got this. So this dude sent a text to 9 different phone numbers that said, "Hey girl." He sent a group text to 9 girls. So then the next response was like, "Hey girl, what you doing?" And then the next response was nothing because you just sent a group text to 9 girls. And then it was not all the other girls were like, "You like jerk."
Well, he was probably like hoping that 1 out of the 9
yeah,
would be like, oh,
is that like his
down.
move? That's the Naked Man on 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
Like,
that's cool.
Because all it takes is one of them.
Right.
But just seriously, how lazy and sad are you?
Just throw it all at the wall and see what.
And also,
sticks.
that dude didn't know what he had. April Richardson gave him his phone number. She's amazing.
Man, what an idiot.
And he group texted. Hey girl. I don't know. I don't know what that's like. Some serious balls.
Yeah, it's or I don't
just
know,
like a
social like.
Is that where we are now in this world, like group texting?
I don't know. Group texts are the worst.
Group texts are the. You were telling me about your family, where she's like, "Can you add like your mother, like your Janelle's stepmom was like, can you add this person?" It's like that's not how group texts work. That's Facebook.
Yes.
You can't add somebody after the fact.
No.
And then like you start getting like, and then with inevitably one person's like, "Who is this? What's going on?
Yes.
Stop!" And then
And
the
then you're
people that are like,
getting 20
"Stop it." And it was like back in the day when somebody would do a reply all.
Yep.
And then I remember there used to be the Biola chains.
Yes.
And people figured out how to mass email everybody. And then people would like troll those, be like, hey, if there's any cute girls, go, hey, what's anybody doing tonight? I remember watching people ask out and get dates within giant chain because. So I have to say this real quick because it's really funny. But like, so it was like an intranet system meant for like businesses, and I don't think they realized like some of the features of that are like sending group emails. You could type in like literally like you could just be like type in like Biola students, and it would send something to the. They eventually turned those accounts off.
Right.
But for a while, like you could send an email to everybody at school.
And people did.
And then people would start replying, and then it got to be. Remember, one of them turned into like a stupid like prayer request thing, and it's like, oh my gosh! And then it would always be, somebody would say something dumb, then somebody would, stop, please, because you could not unsubscribe from them.
But
like,
then you had like 50 people typing stop, and that was just as bad.
So then and then it would just keep going. But then people like me, and I remember some of the like Darren Harbaugh, Matt Moss. People would just start trolling like, hey, I'm listening to some records right now. It's pretty good.
Yep.
Hey, anybody want to hang out? Come to room this. Hey, I heard there's pizza tonight. Like, what's the cafeteria menu? What's the weather tomorrow? What's the weather looking like down there? Stewart sucks. Or like, just like dumb things. Like, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, those are the days. You can't capture that again.
Nope.
That was like a lightning in a bottle.
Nope.
And it's even though we have the internet now, it'll be impossible to explain that exactly to like the next generation. It's crazy.
Well, especially on a tiny college campus where like I know plenty of people that like you would start chatting random people on there and it would lead to makeouts.
Yeah. I can tell you. I mean, remember that like Janelle stalked me through her roommate for a while.
There was all kinds of stuff
going on. I don't know
on.
what's going on here. And then they're like, hey, you want to meet up? My friend wants to meet you. And I'm like, but then I had already met her before. But
there was always all kinds of stuff. I got asked out on bubs. I got dates.
It was, but
Wild
more
West.
than that, like just the like folders and stuff.
Yeah, and all the different
movie folder and the.
Well, like I have friends today because of folder marriages happen because of.
Yeah.
things on like that's pretty nuts. I mean, I guess that still happens, but just in different ways.
So I mean, because in message boards, like
Yeah, and this was kind of like that.
it was like that.
But also it had chat room because again
And
it was
you could meet the people.
it was a corporate intranet client, and then we used it as like our school message, and then you'd be like, hey, I'm in room. I remember I would never do this now, but I even put like, because we had our resume, which is like your profile page. If you clicked on somebody's name, their resume would show up, which was supposed to be their like corporate resume, and like, but it was your Bub's resume. And like with your Biola University bulletin board system, and you could put pictures in there. And over the years, they got more high tech, where you could put video clips. I remember by the end, I had audio clips, I had video clips, I had pictures, and like all this other stuff. And yeah,
I had all my Popbox music releases listed in there. So it was quite a time, but. It's cool. I mean, the kids these days, they have different stuff.
But yeah, so in my resume, I remember halfway through, I'm like, if you're still reading this, you should come over to room whatever my room number was and come say hey. And like people did, like strangers. Yeah. And then they were just like, because it was a small enough school where you probably may have seen them sometime, or like, and then like you just be like, hey, and then I made friends that way.
Well, mine, I had a thing on there where I said my favorite candy is peach rings.
And you got
if you want to make my day, put peach rings in my box. And I think it was box 72, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And I on a regular basis would go to my box and there was peach rings in there.
Girls were way into you.
And that definitely worked to my advantage. But I got a lot of peach rings, which probably worked against me then, because then I ate a bunch of candy and got fat. So I don't know. Maybe it wasn't so good after all.
Steven has a funny story here. My instructor likes to use the voice dictation on his smartphone for text messages. When getting my workout partner and me ready for our Greenbelt test, we had really hard workouts called pushes. Well, one day he was late and sent a group text to me and my partner that was meant to say, looks like I'm going to be late. Feel free to start that push without me. He ended up messaging to us, feel free to start that pussy without me. Again, autocorrect.
Yeah, that's bad.
Because there's websites about like autocorrect fails and like things people send to their parents or like things people's parents send to them and like other things. Gosh. Well, that's like the classic like the new. I think that's like the monologue joke is like no one in there has ever wanted to say ducking. Like none of us want to say ducking.
Well, it's funny because my grandpa got like voice recognition on his phone. Like this is several years ago. And my cousin was, I don't know, she was probably like 14 at the time, and she had just gotten her phone. And so my grandpa like called her and like did like did a text message, but like dictated it. And several words were of an unsavory nature. So my like little 14-year-old cousin gets this text supposedly from grandpa that's like F-D F this, or I don't know, whatever it was, but it was very like foul. And she's like, Mom, what's happening? And like, my grandpa. He has no idea that he's just sent that.
He just read it and without even looking at it. It was like, send.
Yeah, hi, sweetie. Hope you like your new phone.
Send. And then it said, hey, effing dude, I hope you kiss my butt.
Yep. So.
Well, that was the classic joke on because remember the Apple Newton? That was like the original. That was like the first Palm. That was like their PDA where you would like you could do voice and you could also write things and then it would put it to text and it was like the original. So they had a joke where like where like one of the bullies had like Milhouse had one and he's like hey Newton, remind me to beat up Martin, and then it said okay, eat up Martha. And like that's like the classic like
still works to this day.
Siri. Because it's funny at our office everybody has Apple phones and sometimes just to mess with people I'll just yell out hey Siri and then I'll just turn on because like if they have the voice command turned on and I'll be like so you get, and I've there's the evil thing and I did this to somebody once where if they leave their phone like on their desk I'll grab it I'll be like hey Siri call me doofus and then change password so they can't change it.
Call me doofus.
And then they'll be like, so then the next time Sarah will be like, hey doofus, hello doofus, like just change the name and address and then make it so they can't change it. I've done that.
That's funny.
And then they have to reset their whole phone.
It's good prank. But you can also make it have her say really bad things.
Well, sure.
Sure.
I might not have made it say doofus.
That's good.
It's like in, it may have been, well, I mean, everybody has this where, like, for how long did you think in The Jerk that the dog's name was Stupid?
Oh, yeah, because that's what it's
For
on
years.
TV. Sure.
Yeah, it may have been that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, stupid. And then you watch the video, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I remember a lot of movies in college that I hadn't watched, like the actual version of.
And again, we've both come to this conclusion on this podcast that that's the reason why people don't realize how filthy Revenge of the Nerds is.
Yeah.
Because they've probably only seen it.
Or-
Although now Comedy Central shows stuff like uncut after midnight.
Right.
But still, for years.
Or Vacation, because again, Vacation and European Vacation, a lot of people.
Police Academy 1.
Police Academy, dude, that one was like the biggest shock for me.
Because that movie is super dirty.
Well, but then I think even more so that one with the like later ones like
were
got to,
totally
like PG,
PG, yeah.
movies. So you're like, oh, I've seen that wacky
Yeah, so
one.
let's watch Police Academy.
The one where the
1.
guy does the sound effects. It's funny.
Yeah.
And then he's like getting.
There's the one where
oral sex under the table.
And there's just like boobs and butts everywhere.
Yeah, that was a shock.
Yep.
But that's why Vacation. That's why people freaked out about that because they've watched the Comedy Central one.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We should probably call it.
Calling it.
Do it.
Doing it. Go to RadioBrendo.com for all your Radio BrendoMan needs. And thank you for everybody that's been awesome and supporting us. And thank you for listening. And thank you. Give one more shout out to Jason Paul.
Yeah, thanks for coming up to us. That was fun.
Made Phil's day because Phil isn't normally. Phil will get a little bit of runoff sometimes.
Everyone recognizes Brendan in a crowd and not me.
That was a first unique, like, Brendan and Phil and all, like, so
hey
you
guys, like,
yeah.
I'll take that. I'll take a hey guys.
Take a hey guys.
Well, because like someone came up to us at Comic-Con and was like, oh, it's BrendoMan, and then he looked and was like, oh, you must be Phil after he was talking to you for a bit, which is cool still. I'll take it, but it was.
And Derek always gets the hey, where's Derek? And he's never there. He always misses out.
So that was fun. Thank you for doing that, and please let us know about your show that you do and stuff. If you guys have podcasts or other things, listeners, you guys want to tell us about, we'd love to hear about them, so that's cool.
We'll also be on your podcast.
Yeah, sure.
We're just throwing it out there.
We haven't mentioned theadamwells.com in a while, probably.
He's not doing it.
I know, but we're supposed to.
I think he's doing the Beyond the Shield podcast.
Beyond the Shield, there we go.
We should probably
start that up.
Maybe we should put it in this document. If only we had a document with it. But it's funnier when we
just think of it spontaneous. It's more a natural part of the organic, being that is Radio BrendoMan.
Fall asleep. So let's make sure you go to Radio Brendo and contact us and all that stuff, and check out lapodfest.com if you're going to be there on Saturday. We'll be in the podcast lounge.
And vote for the finals of the Kickstarter. This is closing out like sometime this week.
If we're talking to a famous person, just really
yes, play it up.
Play that up.
I always wanted to meet you. Please give me your autograph. Who's this idiot over here?
Yeah, who's this guy? Who's this guy you're talking to?
Yeah, you're talking to some guy? One of your friends?
Yeah, just one of your friends. Are you from Ukaipa?
Yeah. Oh, you're out here from Ukaipa. That's nice. Nice you made the drive out here. All right.
I'm bummed that we didn't get Polo in sleep in the orchard.
I know. I totally dropped the ball on that.
Dropped the ball, Phil.
I'm sorry, Polo. Well, he said something, and like...
He would have been able to tell us if there's an orchard ghost.
I know. He was going to, like, ghost
the
bust
definitive.
our orchard. And then, like, I remembered, like, later, I'm like, oh, I never, like...
Followed up on that?
Well, because I was like, right, I was like, oh, you should come to Ukaipa. And he's like, oh, I'd sleep in the orchard. And then I didn't write anything back. Then I was like, oh, hey, when are you coming? And he's like, I just left. So I'm sorry.
He never made it down here.
Well, right, but he might have like come down if we had.
Oh man!
So I'm sorry, but next time, hopefully, there's another great motorcycle journey.
I just realized I never ate dinner.
Man, we better cut this off.
But I'm not hungry. Is that bad?
We gotta catch a lizard.
Oh my gosh!
You're not sleeping.
What if it crawls in my mouth?
Oh.
What if I eat it in my sleep?
I sincerely doubt that will happen.
What if it's like in my mouth and I wake up and I'm like, and then it goes all in?
Because it's looking for moisture and heat?
Yeah. And then when I wake up, I'm like, and then I swallow it, and then I'm just like...
Don't like choke to death. What if I find out that you died tonight because you choked to death on the lizard? That'd be in your obituary, Brendan, cause of death.
Would you like
Lizard
go
choking.
around killing lizards for the rest of your life?
Do like a campaign of awareness.
Avenge you, Brendo!
Raising awareness for lizard chokings.
You make a shirt. Don't choke on that
Don't
lizard.
choke.
People would be like, "What are you talking about?
Is that a euphemism?
What is
no.
it? No,
Literally,
don't choke on that lizard.
Very dangerous.
Fighting for Brendo.
Steve says he'll camp out in our orchard.
Give me a
Dust till
10 on your
dawn
Wi-Fi
style.
password.
That's funny. All right, well, don't choke on a lizard tonight. Don't let it get in your beard.
No. Don't talk about that.
Don't do it. All right. Just trying to think about
He's
it.
in my room.
He's in there, right? He's under your bed.
He likes under
He
there.
likes under there. He's your roommate. He's got a pet.
But he's pooping and peeing.
Just put a little tray out for it and you can name it.
I'll name him Artie.
Artie. There you go.
Because that was Slater's little communion.
Oh, see, there you go. You got a little friend.
And then he died.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's probably this one's gonna die.
And then Jesse sang a song that was like, you know, that old folk song, like, "Oh, Danny boy," but it was, "Oh, Artie boy." And they had a whole song.
Oh.
Save of the Bell was awesome, you guys. Not many people know, but blank Americans die each year from choking on lizards.
Tens of Americans die every year.
Ones
of Americans die every year.
I bet you
From
somebody
lizard chokings. No, that's never happened.
You don't think it's ever
I
happened?
don't think anyone has ever
That a
died
lizard has
from a
crawled
lizard
on
crawling in
somebody-
their mouth at night and they choke on it. I sincerely doubt it.
People choke.
What if they do? See, but I haven't been made aware. Maybe we do need to raise awareness for this cause. If anyone knows about someone that's died from lizard choking, let us know.
My grandmother died from...
Maybe we shouldn't be joking about it. This could be really painful.
Maybe
for
that's how the
someone.
Marmaduke guy died. We
I
don't know.
What if,
No.
what if he did? What if he was 95 but he died from lizard choking?
The lizard crawled out of the giant piles of money sitting around his house.
He didn't know they were living under there because he couldn't.
Whatever, you're 95. You don't know what's going on.
Man, lizards. I didn't even think about it. There could be a lizard in my house tonight. There was one in our garage like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe it's moved in.
Did you get it?
No, I chased it around and it crawled under something, and I figured it would just get out on its own.
So it's in there.
I'll probably find a dead lizard at some point.
JFK died of a lizard asphyxiation.
Yeah, if you look at the film, like right before he gets shot, a lizard climbs in his throat. It's tragic.
And that's what killed him.
Yeah, that's why the angles look weird. It's the lizard choking. I think this is gonna solve a lot of our, you know.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired, you guys.
All right, let's cut it off here.
So for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creasy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
Have a good one, everybody.
And don't choke on lizards.
Yeah, that'd be bad. That's gonna be a weird. That felt like forever.
Well, yeah, it's because I was here for over 2 hours before we even started.
Why do we do that?
'Cause we can't.
This is why we can't record on Mondays, Phil.
Well, we were at a convention, if you remember
We
correctly.
should have recorded there. We
No,
used
but it
to
never
do that.
works.
It used to work. You mean it never works?
What doesn't work recently?
At this one time?
Yes, we've been burned.
What is this episode called? Choking on a lizard? No, we can't.
No, that's gonna sound like dirty. I don't know.
No, I've been coming up with them, and it's hard. You gotta come up with one.
Lizard death.
Lizard duck.
Don't fear the lizard.
There we go. Done.
There you go.
Sold.
Good.
Don't fear the lizard, even he's coming for you. Don't choke on him, he's crawling under your bed.
Go.
Don't fear the lizard. Uh-oh.
What?
Steve's like
Uh-oh.
gibberish Steve.
Well, we got
Drendo.
Drendo. David Carradine, Lizard. Yep. I'm telling you, a lot of these like celebrity deaths could be explained.
All right.
Cool.
Cool.
Let's go to bed.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat.
Later,
Wait,
Steve.
don't forget to stop broadcast.
Stop broadcast.
Thank you for YouTube watching.
Bye, YouTube.